It's almost 11, and there's still no stream. And Baldo ain't streaming tonight. It's almost 11, and there's still no stream. Baldo ain't streaming tonight. It's 1 minute past 11, and there's still no stream. Baldo ain't streaming tonight. It's 1 minute past 11, and there's still no stream. And Baldo ain't streaming tonight. It's already 11, and there's still no stream. And Baldo ain't streaming tonight. No longer 11, and there's still no stream. And Baldo ain't streaming tonight.
Are you tired of drinking alone, or worse, with boring people? Hi Minnesota, I'm Meme McGill, and do you want to experience the kind of atmosphere where the drinks flow as freely as the gossip? Then come on down to Stoneys in Rockville, Minnesota. At Stoneys, we don't just serve drinks, we serve connections. Some legal, some not so much. Need a spot to discuss your latest scheme, or just want to unwind after a long day of avoiding responsibilities? Well then come on down to Stoneys where the drinks are cold and the secrets are spicier than our famous Ultimate Bloody Marys. Whether you're planning your next big hustle or just looking for a good time, Stoneys is the place to be. We've got pool tables, karaoke nights, and the only thing more colourful than our drinks is our clientele. Hey look, you didn't hear this from me, but did somebody say $2 cans on Thirsty Thursdays? Why settle for ordinary when you can have extraordinary? At Stony's Bar, every night's a wild card, and the house always wins. Unless you're buying the next round. Just remember that what happens at Stoneys stays at Stoneys. Well, that is until the next town hall meeting. Just check out all of our testimonials. Stoneys Bar, Rockville, Minnesota.
I'm muted. The second worst thing that could happen in the Baldoverse. Of course, the number one thing that could happen in the Baldoverse is that Stony's cans are now $2.50. Oh my goodness. I thought I came in with a really good one there. How's it going, guys? I hope you like this stream. Actually, I gotta remind you guys to like the stream, otherwise YouTube will forget that I'm here, right? That's how it works. Hit that like button.
Hit like if you like the show. If you don't like the show, don't hit like, or hit thumbs down. Be like, this guy sucks. I don't mind. But if you do like the show, hit that like button. It really does. I gotta remind YouTube that I'm here. They are not distributing things out.
It's true. It's true. YouTube is oppressing me. Now, yesterday, I have to apologize for a number of things. Obviously, I'm late. And I think that being late is very, very bad form as a streamer, but I do have a good excuse, okay? Second of all, you can blame Steel Toe, the disaster that happened today, on me, because I said that nothing was going to happen. So clearly it's my fault. It was kind of funny, actually. I woke up this morning at 7:30, which is surprising for me because I usually sleep in until about 9 o'clock. And I was like, well, that's strange. I can't get to sleep. Then I decided to check the old phone. I got Ralph laughing at me. I'm like, what's going on? And apparently because I tweeted before I went to bed last night, maybe Aaron's going to get another $50 fine. Maybe nothing will happen. Everyone's doing their victory laps, but fair. It's fair is fair. Before the stream started, we did have a super chat. It dropped off my chart, but I think it was by Big Daddy Land, and he said, "Suffer, toe lovers, suffer." It's over, toe bros. It's over. I don't know how he can recover from it. He can't keep getting away from it, and he didn't. And also we have Scott Christie Jones with a £2 says, "Calling it now. Aaron is looking for a custodial." All right. So today was a big day. Nick has not been streaming for over a week. He's been, in the lab cooking up his, incident reports or reflection of, like the where I'm sad because Mean Toe Man is talking about my wife who he had sex with. There was 3 of these, although apparently I just want to say that I was talking to someone about this and I was somewhat right because there was like 3. That's weird. Did he get one of the kids to write one? And I was like, maybe it's a second one from Kayla. And he's like, no, that wouldn't make sense. But it was an amended one, so I was kind of right. That's 50% right. That's good enough. That's good enough for me. But it was the big day. The toe was streaming. He was in good spirits. 15 minutes. What could happen in 15 minutes is what we said. What could happen? Well, basically everything, because unfortunately, female judge, gavel drawn, toe boy don't die. Oh no. Oh no. Apparently, what I thought was not a big deal, honestly, because it's weird. It's a very strange situation, but it seems like there's been, I'm going to go through all the details of today. There's not that many. And then the later part of the show, and probably the bulk of the show, will be about pirate software who can't stop killing video games because he's a greedy little goblin with a ferret farm that, since his persona is also a ferret, that's kind of concerning. So I know the pirate bros were looking forward to another pirate stream, so this is half and half. But anyway. So the Steel Toe Avengers, A-Log, Alliance, or whatever, have been sending in messages to this judge for weeks on end. Apparently she was pretty pissed and, I guess maybe she saw what happened and she wasn't happy. Now, it doesn't make sense to me because I didn't think that you could court mandate somebody to not talk about somebody. I thought that was a violation of your right of free speech in America. But apparently Aaron's lawyer agreed to it, so it doesn't matter. And that was a big whoopsie daisy, even tangentially. So it seems like the judge was furious. And they were like, "Are you going to get a sentence today?" And it's like, well, can we wait a little bit? And it's going to be resentenced in October. We'll go through it once I get through these super chats. Nova says, "Say hi to Rekieta moderator D Watt." Hello there, D Watt. I saw him in the chat. What? You can watch both shows. Come on, guys. It's not team sports. Okay. Jefferson C. Post with a 5 says, "Nick couldn't just let you enjoy your punching down villain arc. He had to out-evil you. There's always a bigger crocodile waiting to bite." It's true. It's true. Like, this is the second Baldo victory in a few weeks. The body cam's been blocked for now. The bad Aaron man is going away. And we know that if Aaron goes to jail, the Rumble contract's coming back. The 100,000 live streamers is coming back. The $20,000 a day Mini Cooper, whatever car a day is coming back. Of course, that's not going to happen. And realistically, I think that the Toe Man will be just fine. They have a couple of months to kind of rework this and kind of explain to the judge and everything. But we'll see the reports from in the day. Now, we do have this artist rendition because nobody likes onion. P. Melton flew up to Minnesota so that he could have his lunch date with his boyfriend and also go see all of the hangouts where Nick and Aaron used to do coke. Alrighty. So let's see. So the first things first. What is going on here? Like, this is basically the first thing I saw when I woke up today. Is Aaron is in jail. I was like, wait, what? How does a man get in jail? I mean, I agree that he should not have shared the nudie pic, but I don't particularly care because she sent it to him. It's not like he's like, if you stole a nudie pic, which I guess is what Rekieta is alleging. If you stole a nudie pic and then like disseminated it out, if you're like in a creep in a shower or something in a little like spy cameras or something, then sure, I can understand that. But if she sent him this picture and then he showed it to one person, like, yes, it's wrong, but it's not, the penalty is not equal to the crime. The only fair judgment here is that Melton should get to see Aaron's cock. That's the only way. Like, so Aaron's friend got to see Kayla's titties. So surely the only fair way is for one of Nick's friends to see Aaron's cock. Of course, Melton's been thirsting for it for his entire life, or his entire, I guess, last decade or whatever. So I think that's the only fair thing that can happen. Unfortunately, the US is a very backward country, and they don't allow cruel or unusual punishment like in my country, where the cops want access to all your shit. But like, okay, I don't know what's happening here, because is the Rekieta-verse just coming true? Because Nick made a very crazy statement where it's like, if you have a red shirt, it changes your face to be red as well. And apparently everything that Nick has said is just coming true, because I was like, what the fuck is going on with this photo? Because first of all, I saw like the article by Will Heron, and I was like, oh, Will, you sneaky little boy, you increase the saturation on Aaron. But no, this is the actual photo. He's orange, chat. He's orange. So in solidarity, I guess. So I got to get my original orange cam back on. There we go. This is what we're gonna do. No, we don't do that. I'll put it this way so that my background's pink and everyone can make fun of me. There we go. There we go. So yes, this is kind of like a half truth. Melton messaged out like Aaron is in jail for like 15 minutes. He posted bail. His bail is now $100,000, which doesn't make sense to me, but it is what it is. I think he was in jail for less than an hour. He went back to his house. Then he posted a picture of his doggo for sympathy. Very, very effective strategy. If I had a dog, I'd be doing that as well. Because I was late today. I'll be saying the dog needed to go for a walk or something, but that's not true. That's not true at all. But then I guess he's streaming right now, so he's back to doing his show. It seems like his numbers are the same as always. I did see that he said that he wasn't going to talk about anything, which is a great idea, because frankly, this is just another one of those cases where you shouldn't have talked about anything. Like, he thought that he was in free and clear because he'd already got the plea deal, but he probably should have waited until sentencing. Kind of a whoopsie daisy there, but I guess live and learn. Live and learn. Let me see. There was also the reason I played the Stoneys ads today is because Rekietalaw, he posted, well, Melton just got kicked out of Stoneys. Cheetos called Patrick fat, and I agreed. Well, that's not all he called him. We'll go through that as well. But yes, they did go to Stoneys, and very funny, actually. I want to see this Cheeto guy. He's pretty good. He's pretty funny. All right, so let's have a look at what actually happened. So the judge asked them. They basically, I guess we'll read the account of the people that actually went there first. But you can see here that he has a bond for $100,000. But I mean, you only have to pay like I think he already had a $50,000 bond, and it just went up to $100,000. And he already paid $5,000, so he had to pay an additional $5,000, because that's the way it works. You have to pay like 10%. Aaron, I assume, doesn't have $100,000 lying around. All right, so let's see. So not a message, but a post on the Kiwi Farms. Oh wait, sorry, I forgot. I forgot about this. Sorry, guys. We have to do a little bit of a celebration. I was actually going to go get a drink today, but I guess I don't deserve it because I was late. But we got to put your congratulations in the chats, because the Baldo thread has now reached 10,000 pages. So is this the biggest thread on Kiwi Farms apart from maybe Christian? I'm pretty sure that Nick beat Chantel, Foodie Beauty. So the girl world's got to get their act together. But Nick has hit 10,000 pages on the Kiwi Farms and over 200,000 posts. Look at that. This guy, sterilized glow sticks, got NTR, never trust Rekieta. He got the winning post of 200,000. That's crazy. When did you start reading the Rekieta thread? That's the real question. I didn't read all the pages, but I think I started at like 7,000, which is kind of crazy. I think I picked it up like I want to say during a couple weeks or a couple months before the Coke stream, but I'm not sure. DSP is only 5,000. Is that true? Can that be true, chat? 10K bail for 10K pages. Oh, no. But anyway, so we're getting back to the story. We'll put Aaron's glowy face on it. He's glowing, chat. He's glowing. Look at him there. It's kind of funny that Aaron's the only person that smiles for his mugshots as well. Like I said, he said he wasn't going to talk about his court case, which is a good move. He should probably never talk about this ever again. But anyway, I get to talk about it. So sorry to keep you waiting. Sorry to keep you waiting. So Vibraldo on the Kiwi Farms says, what was the violation? He's quoting Liquid Kid. Says, what was the violation? I still can't figure out what he did and when did he talk about her. Either way, I still consider that this is a Nick and a Melton L. I mean, let's call it what it is. This is a win for the Baldo. But it's kind of like when you see retards fighting, no one really wins. So except the chat always wins because they get to be entertained. So they said that they still consider this a Nick and Melton win solely because someone being jailed before bail is somehow the highlight of their year. I mean, it is pretty pathetic. That's the thing. Absolutely. But Vibraldo responded to this saying, apparently Melton and friends, Nick and Kayla, obsessively watch Steel Toe Morning Show. That's true. They can't look away. Nick and Kayla filed 3 police reports and the fans sent tons of emails with timestamps and the judge kept them and took them seriously. So is this a case? This is my question. Put 1 if you think this is the case, and 2 if you think this is just a crazy misogynist theory. Is it just that the female judge, Gavel Drawn, was just so mad that she had to keep reading things from the Steel Toe anti-crew or whatever? I'm almost like, because I almost think that's the case. Because judges are just people, and they get pissed off for the silliest things. Like if a judge is in a car wreck the morning of your trial, you're fucking done. I'm sorry, that's the way it is. Judges are supposed to be impartial. They're supposed to uphold the law above all else or whatever. But the reality is that if a judge is having a bad day, you're the one that's going to pay for it. So who can say? Maybe in October? Maybe in October she'll have calmed down. Maybe it won't be a bad day for her. Maybe she'll be having a great Halloween day or something, a Halloween preparation. And the toe will get off scot-free. I refuse to believe. I will take, wait, is Pepsi Man in the chat? Pepsi Man, you out there? You want another? You want a double or nothing? I'll bet. I'm going to bet Pepsi Man. Where is he? Come out, you coward. I don't think that Aaron's going to see a day of jail. I also said this about Rekieta. But, so I guess that could be $40 in the hole. But I really don't think this is gonna. Maybe he'll get like a stricter sentence now. Maybe the Kayla nude unit will be up to like $1,000 or something. I think 3,000 was the estimate though, but I doubt it. There was like a guy in the chat yesterday, and he was like, "Should I invest in Kayla nude units?" And that guy's like making bank now because like it's gone from $50 to maybe, I don't know, a lifetime in prison. Because for some reason the Zuluminati's out to get Aaron. But that was one of the theories. Now there was an on the ground reporter today, and of course there was a couple. I'm going to read from this one. I'm going to read from this one from the farms. Of course, you can also see Melton's show about this. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you really want to, like, hear from people on the ground, I mean, they've got the scoop. That's the way it is. But there was this one farmer that made it out there and said, "Made it to McDonald's to write this up. It has been pouring rain in central Minnesota. So sad, so sad. Waves and waves of downpours. I was delayed getting to court because the rain slowed traffic, and I got soaked getting from my car to the courthouse. I got there a little before 2 p.m. No line at security, and they didn't make me take off my belt to go through the metal detector. That's always a plus. As I was going through security, who should come in the door but Nicholas Rekieta? I wandered around on the first floor." Well, I have to put on this one. Hold on. There you go. You can see him skulking in the background. "I wandered around the first floor a little because I did not want to share a single elevator to the second floor with him. I can't think of any legitimate reason he would have for being outside at that time, in the rain, that doesn't involve a little pick-me-up in the car. Maybe. Anyway, I made it up to the courtroom. The bailiffs were bigger jerks about my tablet than in Candio High, but I was prepared with my trusty Rodea? What the fuck is a Rodea? And Pilot Metropolitan? Is that like a Palm Pilot or something? Is this Lady K reporting? This sounds like some old shit. I mean, I don't want to say that. I mean, like boomer shit, basically. There was maybe a dozen people in the gallery. I don't know who were the Kiwis and who were the dabblers. I suspect the people sitting right behind me were friends of Nick. See below. Continues. Aaron was in the gallery when I arrived, but then he left. He was wearing a burgundy jacket that was too small for him. Oh no, Aaron, a burgundy. Come on, toe bros. It's time to buy a new jacket. Can they hit the goal over there? Venmo, what is it? Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. Can we get Aaron a bigger jacket? Oh dear. He was wearing a burgundy jacket that was too small for him. Oh yeah, maybe he's fat. That's actually better. I was thinking it was just like he outgrew it or something. The people sitting in the back of me whispered loudly, "We should get some booze and head over to Nick and Kayla's house." Who are these people? After a few minutes, the same people whispered, "We've been had." Is this? It all got worked out in the back room. Yes, unfortunately, that's the way it is. Someone asked the bailiff if it was over yet, or something to that effect. Oh my goodness, these have got to be dabblers, right? They're so impatient, they're so dopamine deprived. They're like, bailiff, where's the action? One of the people behind the people whispering said, "Haven't you been arrested before?" At about 2:08 p.m., Aaron returned to the courtroom and crossed the bar with his attorney. At about 2:09, the judge took the bench. She opened up, informing everyone no recording was allowed. Injustice, injustice. After this, the judge said there had been discussions with counsel in the chambers about violations of the conditional release. I'm sorry, but I don't see it. You can call me coping. You can call me seething. You can call me toe sweeping if you want. I don't think that I haven't seen Aaron violate his release. I think that he has perfectly, like, if Nick Rekieta can make tacit, snide comments about the cops bringing coke into his house or touching his daughter's head and stuff like that, then surely Aaron should be able to say that I was in a relationship with a crazy bitch, okay? The judge doesn't know which crazy bitch he's in a relationship with. There's no way she could know his frame of mind. This seems unconstitutional to me. But like I said, was it Todd? Is that Aaron's lawyer? Apparently he agreed to this. I guess they could make the argument maybe at the next hearing for it. I feel like it's a miscarriage of justice is what I would call it. How could it be so toever? How could it be so toever? Prosecutor begins argument. She wants increased bail and possible custody. She says there are concerns about ongoing behavior, multiple police reports, online behaviors, and significant emails. She gave no details. Now, wait a minute. You can't just start an email campaign to get someone behind bars. This is ridiculous. This is kangaroo court. Oh my goodness. The outrage. Hold on. Is this like a wait, we gotta ask the chat. Not the emails. Not the emails. Let's see. How do we say like let me see. Let's see. What about the emails? There we go. What about the emails, chat? We have to know. We have to know about the emails. It's Minnesota, baby. There is something in the water of Minnesota that not only makes people act crazy, but also causes the justice system to be an absolute travesty, I will say. Absolute travesty. Significant? What do you mean significant emails? Like, doesn't the man have the right to say things online about his crazy ex-girlfriend that he cooned in multiple times, and then now Nick has to kiss on the mouth? Anyway, multiple police reports, online behaviors, and significant emails. She gave no details. I mean, must be a female prosecutor. She just expects you to like read her mind or something, right? Am I right, lads? Just kidding. I think the Rekieta streams, the majority of the audience is women, which is surprising because I've never seen a woman in real life. So I hope they enjoy. The little sexism we add into these streams. But it's all in good fun. Defense argued Aaron was a local homeowner and a good guy. Well, I mean, Aaron's not. I wouldn't say him as a good guy. I would say he's the shiniest turd of the four of them. But I wouldn't. Good guy's a bit of a stretch. With no violent felony record. He says there were multiple statements that could be interpreted multiple ways. Well, that's true. My impression, the old dude's heart was just not in this argument at all. It was pretty bland. I think this is something that a lot of people have kind of come to the consensus on, is that Aaron apparently really likes his lawyer, but he doesn't seem to be very good. And I think it may be time to send him to the glue factory and get like a real lawyer. But maybe Matthew Harding's available, because he's just going to become the Omni Felter for Rekieta or something. That'd be very funny. After this weak argument, the judge laid into Aaron, said the conditional release order was clear and that he broke it. I mean, I don't know about that. It is a public safety issue? Now, come on. She increased Aaron's bail. Well, it's like I said, female judge, gavel drawn. What can you do? Judge then asked whether the defense wanted to proceed to sentencing. Defense said no, that's a good idea. She's probably in a bad mood, and Aaron actually probably would have gotten prison if he had actually tried to settle it all today. There was some boring discussion about choosing a new sentencing date. I think it's October 2nd, I want to say. I think I've got this. Yeah, it's October 2nd is the sentencing, 11 a.m. So I guess we've got Nick's sentencing or in August. Then we've got free September. That'll be the white boy summer. Maybe me, Max, BP, and maybe Andrew can go camping or something. Or another episode of Cringer Band would be fun. And then we'll be back in October. October's my favorite month, by the way. Like, October's the best month in Japan by far. The weather's perfect, and it's beginning of autumn, and it's not so fucking hot. Like, it's crazy hot today. I just got off the train, ran back to my house, changed the stream dates back 15 minutes, jumped into the cold shower, and I'm still sweating right now. It's awful. But it has its advantages too. Aaron went out of the custody door of the courtroom, so I presume he was taken into custody until he can post the increased bail. He was not cuffed or even held by the bailiffs, so I presume everybody already knew what was going to happen, and that's about it. Now, of course, Nick's camp sort of paints a different picture, where it's like, of course, this was always going to happen. The reality is, I think this is a surprise for most people, and I think that's the reasonable point of view. If this had gone Aaron's way, then Nick would have said it's a miscarriage of justice. It went this way, so now Aaron's saying it's a miscarriage of justice. Well, actually, Aaron's not saying anything about this, which is a smart move to say. The reality is that nobody really knows. And then if you get it right, you just kind of claim post. They're like, well, I got it right. Look at that. Got it right again. And sometimes you get right 3 or 4 times in a row, and then you claim to have some sort of authority of the situation. That's essentially what's happening. Now, Nick has been right twice now. And we got to call a spade a spade. I mean, that's what Kayla calls them when she's in Heat Them too, right? But the body cam not being blocked by Nick's lawyers was a W for the Baldo camp, and this is a win for the Baldo camp as well. And I believe he has his interview with Turtle Boy tomorrow. If he gets a bigger stream than Kurt, maybe that's the shot in the arm he needs to get back into the game. I don't think it's going to happen, but you never know. You never know. And the funny thing about life is it kind of works in streaks. This is kind of like the gambler's fallacy, but it's true at the same time. And this is a fun part of the Jurassic Park novels, actually, is that the idea that bad things and good things happen in streaks. And just before everything seems like it's going to get back on track, you've repaired everything, the fences are back online, suddenly the velociraptors have escaped, and everything goes to shit. Yes, there's the dinosaur reference for today. And I think this is kind of the same way it's going to happen. I expect Nick to get like one more win before things start going bad for him again, but it's kind of interesting, honestly. Like, in this story, which is a drama, and like Nick's like, my life is not your personal drama. Well, actually it is, because you made it that way. That's how many people feel, and we're just kind of along for the ride. It goes up and down and up and down, and that's the most entertaining. So if there's some solace you can take from this, it's that. The eventual, I guess, the body cam release has to come out right now, because that's the only way it'll be funny enough, because they got to go from riding high, it's the anti-climax, and then the climax. Perfect. We'll have to see. I think that life is just fun enough that that's how it's gonna go. Puddingway says the only winners here are the practicing lawyers. That's true. That is true. Jefferson C. Post says, glad busy Nick has plenty of KF reading material. That's true as well. Rougette Men's Health with a 5 says, Rougette would like to clarify the orange glow is not a side effect of Rougette Ready TM. Stop Moss B with the 20 says, I'm not saying people should timestamp Nick's streams and sending the police like Nick and his pedo friend did to Aaron, but I don't do this. Like, I know that people like really want to see Nick suffer, but just stay out of it. Like, honestly, people can criticize me for saying this. You shouldn't be calling Aaron's judge. You shouldn't be calling Nick's judge. Just let the thing work out for themselves. It'll be funny enough as it is. You don't have to try and get a hand in the action. I can't condone this at all. Jefferson C. Post says, keep your toe out of our wife's mouth, says the judge. Yes, indeed. Indeed. So let's take a look at what this document actually says. Yeah, exactly. This is a very good comment. You're here to laugh, not to A-log. Okay. Like, we like to make fun of Nick. We like to poke fun. And now tonight we're poking fun at Aaron a little bit. But try and stay on the sidelines and just let the monkeys dance and fight each other and throw peanuts as we go. But don't try and throw a brick or something and try and change the odds, okay? Never touch the lolcows is what you're supposed to do. All right, so let's see. So then the Minnesota County of Stearns, this is today, we have Aaron Imholte, and he has now been posted a bond of $100,000 he does, which is just ridiculous. there's no way that the Kayla nude unit is worth $100,000. But if you bought Kayla nude units last night, then I guess you're rich now. So congratulations. I think most of us spent all our Kayla nude units on pizzas, and now we're broke, just like that Bitcoin guy. Posting bond in the amount of $50,000 in cash bail or an amount of $5,000 subject to conditions checked below. And this is, of course, how Aaron got out today. He probably used like a bonding company as well. Alternative additional, let's see, anything else? All previous conditions imposed except those added or amended above remain in full force and in effect. And the next hearing date is on October 2nd. This is a hearing via Zoom, so we might actually be able to watch this. Although typically I don't really follow Aaron's stuff. I think there's a lot of people following Aaron, and I don't get it. I mean, we're doing it today, but that's because something actually happened. But there you go. You can see this on Zoom. Now let's go to the Aaron A-Log Avengers. Remember yesterday when I said it's a good thing that those courtrooms have double doors? Melton was on the scene, and he actually needs the double door. So there you go. Very, very sad. Very, very sad. There's actually some good memes actually I forgot to show as well. This one was good. I don't know who Gummy Chainsaw is, but this is really good. It's got I can't play the music, but this is very good. I don't know why Aaron is so orange, the annoying orange Aaron, but this is pretty good. I just had to play it. I'll play a little bit of the song. There you go. You can make up the rest of it. He's got his Johnson's baby oil. He's in the court, and he's having a great old timer there. Arrest him. Yes, exactly. All right, so I'm not going to watch Nick and Melton's stream, but there are a few things I wanted to show in it. Just a couple things which are kind of funny. So what they did is that, unfortunately, it seems that Nick was not allowed to take Melton into the big house with his children, so they had to go to a hotel room. Apparently, after this victory on their camp, their tenant people went to have 3 dinners, which I don't believe, looking at Nick. But I do believe looking at Melton, so I guess it's somewhere in the middle, right? Maybe they shared, I don't know. Maybe that's how it works. But yeah, they had 3 dinners, and I assume the reason they had 3 dinners is because they went to 3 restaurants where Aaron and Nick did coke together, so that Melton can now talk about stories about places that Aaron went in Minnesota. I think that Melton also went to the boxing ring and got a photo with the coach or something as well. The big house? No, I mean like the Baldo bunker, not the jail. Okay, not the jail. But then they went back to the hotel room for a bit of fun. And they did a stream, and they did it. There was one funny story that I just want to show briefly. Let me see. Is the transcript ready? Melton has an annoying thing where it's very hard to find his. It's very hard. He doesn't allow like live replay, but I want to see. Okay. So they go to Stoneys, which is funny to me. I want to see the Stoneys story. All right, let me see. Okay, I found one of it. Let me see. Stoneys was like at the end. I found one of the sentences. I'm just trying to see if I can get a better timestamp for this, because I don't want to play a couple minutes of it, really. Okay, it's around here when they go to Stoneys, like 2-hour mark, more or less. And Nick was bringing in big money. The thing is, they went to Stoneys. Oh, my camera is it not autofocus? Not on. It doesn't matter. I probably look better. Yeah, here it is. Trying to find out where Cheeto calls Melton a pedo. That's funny. It's somewhere around this part.
Insane.
The police station's right by there. Right
Yeah,
by the
I
courthouse.
get it, but like still as you approach. But even just driving out to Stoneys, which is in the sticks.
This is the part, yeah.
But I told Cheetos right away. I was like, if you don't want us here, we'll go. He said, I don't care. And again, why would you? You're a business owner. You must hate money. I don't get it. And
like Nick went on this like giant like tirade saying like there was nobody in Stoneys and we showed up. They should have welcomed our money. I think they went there at like 4:00 in the afternoon. It's like, why is there nobody in this bar at 4:00 on a fucking Wednesday? But,
so we're looking around at the place. I filmed a little bit, and everyone's talking. I think he doesn't like people are talking about his boy, you know. And
so Cheeto is the owner of Stoneys, or co-owner, and he's a big toe bro.
He's getting increasingly grumpier and angrier.
But he wasn't happy. He wasn't happy
to somebody, even when they're ordering at his establishment.
Yeah,
he's like total opposite of Scott.
Yeah,
Scott was
super
gracious and kind.
Come on, where's the
and
part where he tells you to get
friendly
out?
and no-
This a while. I'm watching you. Like, it's pretty obvious that you know exactly how to do this. You go into a place, you're gracious, you're gonna be a patron of the business that they wouldn't have. It was it's an odd posture to take. I mean, I know he doesn't need the money because he's got a very successful bar and that's all great. No one's implying that
He's got that Stoneys $2 cans. Of course he doesn't need your money. He's got those ultimate Bloody Marys.
the illustrious Cheeto isn't getting business, but why would you ever turn it down as a business owner?
Because it's his business. He gets to decide whatever the fuck he wants. Yeah, so like Cheeto didn't like. He recognized the Rekieta straight away. He recognized Melton there right away. Apparently, Aaron might have tipped him off because they were in the area the day before as well, talking to all of Aaron's friends and people that he knows and things like that, and going around and filming content for his show. So Aaron maybe tipped him off that a big fat guy and a very skinny guy are going to show up, and one of them is going to be a kid diddler, but you have to guess which one.
I start looking around at all the merch, and I go like, "Hey, do you have hats? I'd love to get a Stoneys hat. Guess what? I'm gonna make my own now. You fucking idiot." I might start selling stuff.
Oh no! Oh no! He's going to make his own Stoneys hat. Oh no! It's over. It's over, toe bros. It's the second Feltoning of the day.
Stoneys hats on my website, just like I did with Aaron's merch a couple years ago. We moved like 38 steel toe hoodies when I just put them in my shop, and like
It's a lot of hoodies. 38.
he said, "Yeah, we have hats." And so everybody's getting another drink. People are about to order their second round of drinks. And I go, just a Diet Coke.
Is he bald? I don't
for
think
me,
he's bald.
And I'll buy one of your hats. And I see him walk up.
See, people say that like Melton's supposed to be a comedian, but I've never really seen him do anything funny. Although him ordering a Diet Coke is a pretty good gag. So I will give him that. That's one funny thing that Melton has done.
Over and he looks down and I hear him go, "Where are the hats?" And he goes
He's
down the
hatless.
corner and he comes back with a canned Diet Coke. This is a bar that's so successful their guns don't work. They have guns, but they don't work. He probably doesn't want to clean the lines. He doesn't want to keep the syrup stocked. And he cracks open a Diet Coke and he goes, "I don't think I want you advertising my bar." And I go, "Oh, come on, I'll just wear a hat. Like I'll wear it on the stream or something. Like it's not like I'm advertising your bar. It's not like I'm going around Vegas telling people, like, you ever in Rockville, Minnesota, you got to go to Stoneys."
I mean, unlike him, I am advertising Stoneys. Stoneys, give me that Stoneys money, please.
You got to go to Stoneys.
That's
And again, he's been getting grumpier and grumpier the whole time we're there. And he goes, "Yeah, but I don't want a pedo advertising my bar."
All right, there you go. Can we get Stoneys W? Like, no matter Nick won, Aaron won. We all know that Stoneys won. Stoneys won. Okay, Stoneys won. They're the real one. Based Cheeto. I actually really want to go to Stoneys now. They kind of talk about this story a little bit more. Basically, what happens is they say they're like the best patrons. They've never had patrons like them. Nick orders like a Diet Coke as well or something, and then he tries to pay with the $10. If he has no money, so he has to ask his wife for a 20. He's like, "I was going to tip him $10." Then Cheetos comes up and says like you got to pay for that, right? He just saw Nick and he thought he was going to try and do a dine and dash on his $10 drink tab or something. He can just tell. He took one look at this suit. I will say that this is a better suit than Nick was wearing last time, though. I don't know what he was doing last time, but now at least he's got like the lighter. I think you have to have, if it's not a black shirt, I think it has to be like a lighter shirt than the outside of your suit. That's just kind of, I know about fashion. Obviously, as a person that has never left my room. Energy King with a 5 says, "Nick looks rougher than he did on Wife Stop Wednesday. Poor fella. I mean, he had 3 dinners, so he should be getting back to those chunky days. We'll have to see. But there you go. That's basically what happened with Aaron's story. There's probably some other stuff, but it wasn't that entertaining. Realistically, I think that this is going to be another 3 months of annoyance for Aaron. They're probably going to get a less than sweet deal this time. Like, it's not going to be as funny as $50, but I imagine him getting a very light sentence. I don't think the toe's going to jail. But you never know. There's always a chance. I did say that yesterday as well, that I didn't think that Aaron was going to get anything today, but there's always a chance. You never know. There's always a 50% chance going to any courtroom. So there you go. Let's move on to Pirate Software, I think. I think we'll move up to Pirate Software. So Pirate Software is an insufferable turd. It's kind of hard to explain. Hold on. I gotta bring up. You got to know who you're talking about. So Pirate Software. He's the guy with the deep voice. You've probably seen him on YouTube Shorts. Do they have any shorts here? He's been playing a lot of Dune recently, apparently, which I actually kind of wanted to see if that was a good game. Okay, it doesn't have any of his shorts there. Hold on a second. I know I've got a picture of one of this in the Discord because I posted it there. What is this? Okay, give me a second. All right, there we go. This is what we do for Pirate Software. Pirate Software is a guy that's been criticized for being a nepo baby at Blizzard. They say he's an industry plant. He's allegedly a game developer, but I think his game is still not released, Heartbound. But he became very successful with two strategies, and that is that he named himself Pirate Software. So when people actually search for Pirate Software, they would get his website, which kind of boosted his SEO rankings, and he said that he did it on purpose. But he's actually completely against piracy. And in fact, not only is he against piracy, he's against consumers in general, because he is allegedly a game developer. Now, you may remember, I think we talked about him maybe 10 months or something ago, because what happened is he was playing a game called Hardcore World of Warcraft, and he abandoned his team. He ratted out. And there was some very, very funny... wait, sorry, not that one. Where is this? Didn't I? What happened to my tabs? Where did my tabs? Oh, here it is. So someone even made a game where he's a roach, and he DMCA'd this game on Steam. Basically, he's the biggest career crash out of the year, is what people are considering this, or of the last 12 months at least. Maybe not this year, but of the last 12 months. He went from being like a media darling. He had all these YouTube Shorts explosion. I think a lot of people have saw them where he's just like, yo, you know how this you do in the game? It's like this, but actually it's like this. And it's just, he's very like full of himself. And I was very disappointed to see his crash out and then learn his dark history, because not only is this man bad at video games, he's also a furry. And it was revealed that he may have been engaged in Second Life grooming with this guy. At the time, he was going by the name Maldavius Fig Tree or something. He's got he has a ferret rescue, which sounds like, oh, that's adorable. Then it's like, wait a minute, his persona's a ferret. And you're like, that's less adorable. But he's back in the news again with the Stop Killing video games. So Stop Killing Games is an initiative where basically, when you have like an old game that you'd play online, like, back in the day when I was a kid, video games would have like, you'd have like IP connections or local LAN or your custom servers, things like that. These days, most games, even single player games, you have to connect to the internet or you have to connect to the server to play. And that's frustrating. Everybody hates this, especially single player games that require you to connect to the internet just to activate them. That's cringe. We hate it. Nobody likes it. It deserves to die, but it's not going away. So there's this initiative that comes up about 10 months ago called Stop Killing Games. Stop Killing Games is a petition in the European Citizens Initiative, and I believe also in the UK as well, where they're trying to get 1 million signatures, which would put this in front of the European Parliament. Now, the idea here is that they want to make it so that game companies cannot brick their games after they go out of business. So, for example, you're playing, what do the kids play these days? Marvel Rivals. So Marvel Rivals, it's like Overwatch. You pick a hero like Psylocke or whatever. You pay $10 for a really sexy skin where her butt is like flapping around or whatever. You got those meaty flaps. But you goon over it for like 5 years, then the game goes offline and you can no longer access your bought content. And this is like a very specific example with like an online game, like a multiplayer 5v5 sort of shooter. But this happens with single player games as well. And lost media is a concern for a lot of people in the modern day. In fact, I was watching an episode of like EFAP where they were talking about 28 Days Later. And 28 Days Later, obviously, it had the new movie 28 Years Later. I think Sony re-released 28 Days Later on their, either Sony or Disney Plus released it on their streaming service. And prior to them doing that, it was actually unavailable in any other digital form. And all the physical media was also gone. Unless you find like an old DVD of this movie, it would have been lost media had the company decided to no longer put on your streaming service. So if there's something you care about, either game or movie or music, get a physical copy. Because if you just subscribe to these like live services and things like that, that companies can decide to take it away. Like Disney took away Song of the South. When I was a kid, I really enjoyed the Song of the South because I thought it was a cute movie about bunnies and rabbits and briar patches and things. I watched it in Australia, and it's just gone now. You can't watch it really. Although, funny enough, if you go to Disneyland, you can still see it in Tokyo at least. So that's an example of kind of like lost media. But specifically, this is with games. And there are a lot of games that people invest either a lot of money in or a lot of time into that you don't want to see just die. And MMOs are used as an example of this quite frequently. This is actually why they have the classic World of Warcraft where Roach Software abandoned his team and die them all because people were starting to emulate the game themselves and make these private servers. And Blizzard decided, well, like, hey, you can't do that. We're going to make our own services because we want all the money. But at its core, Stop Destroying Games is basically can be summed up as if you buy something, you should be able to use it. It's pretty simple, like really, when you think about it. Now, for some reason, Pirate Software decided to go really hard on this guy called Accursed Farms. Accursed Farms is the guy leading the charge on this. Why do I have this? Why do I have Chunk here? That's not supposed to be there. And he posted this video today. Well, actually, I think it was like yesterday. But this is the guy at Accursed Farms. He's been doing this. This is his life mission, well, at least for the last couple of years. And he decided to call out Pirate Software because while this initiative was gaining signatures in the EU, Pirate Software decided to take a look at it. And then he was like, well, actually, I hate this. And spoiler alert, it's kind of because Pirate Software has a vested interest in games not requiring you to add end-of-life service for them because he's a game developer and he plans to do this with various games and companies that he has. So while he's parading around as a consumer advocate and he's like, well, Pirate Software, that's my name, he's actually just a corporate shill. That's the reality. And for some reason, he's just the most insufferable person. So everyone kind of enjoys seeing this like crash out. And he's like, well, people just want their pound of flesh and they just hate me because I'm successful, I'm doing things with my lives. We watched the clip with him, and I wish I had it right now, but I don't, where he interviews with this guy, some psychiatrist that apparently was responsible for somebody else dying because he told him to be his friend, and then he jumped off a ledge or something like that. Who was it? Was it? No, it wasn't Sonic. It wasn't Ninja. It was somebody in the chat can remind me. Somebody in the chat can remind me of that, who the lawyer is, and then the guy, not the lawyer, the psychiatrist. And Dr. K was a psychiatrist. Who was the guy that he is responsible for the death of? That's what I'm looking for. I was going to see if anyone's got it. Basically, there was this gamer. I want to say it's not Soda Poppin', but it's someone like that. There's this very popular gamer, and was it Rekful? Yes, Rekful. That's right. Thank you. So Rekful was like very depressed. Dr. K like interviewed him. He said, well, I'll be your friend. But he wasn't there when he like jumped off a cliff, essentially. Very sad story. And I remember watching Rekful's WoW PvP videos when I was a kid, actually. So, well, there was a really good video I want to see by, I think the best person, like we could go through, stop the actual video by this guy. There's a funny part in here where he talks about Diablo 4 that I want to actually show. But I think the best summary I've seen of this was by Harmful Opinions. Harmful Opinions is a seriously underrated channel. I'm going to link this video in the chat because you should absolutely go subscribe to him. I think the first time I saw Harmful Opinions was like back before Gamergate. But he's another man with a very deep voice, and he's fantastic to listen to, and he's actually really smart, and he's got some great takes. So we'll listen to his video about this, but we'll add our commentary where we will. So let's see what he has to say about the Pirate Software, and a video entitled I Hate Pirate Software. And then we'll have a look at Pirate Software's comment and also some of this video as well. See if Harmful misses anything.
I have to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen.
This is a fantastic voice. Fantastic voice.
I have to be honest with you. I am incredibly disappointed in Ross of Accursed Farms. Despite his disarming Hyraxian countenance and endearing extreme conflict aversion, I can't let this slide.
This is one thing, actually, one of the reasons I chose is because, unfortunately, and the halo effect is a thing, and I think that a lot of people are gonna not take this guy seriously because he does look like a little bit of a weirdo. The reality is it shouldn't matter, but it does matter. So you have this guy. I'm sorry. It just is what it is.
Show you.
For here has been the #1 voice on the campaign, and he's been lying about what it is. That's a bit loaded, though. In this case, I'm using the second definition of lie. I have no evidence it's the first.
All right, so he's got the very funny
That's a bit loaded, though. In this case,
Hold on
I'm
a
using
second.
the second definition.
So very funny, the dictionary memes. Of course, everyone loves them. So the second definition of lie is to create a false or misleading impression. Of course, the first is to make an untrue statement. Now, Pirate Software is absolutely lying because he completely misrepresented this guy's argument and the entire mission of the Stop Killing Canes initiative. And actually, if you are in the EU, you can actually still vote for this. They have I think they have like a month left or something. And it's until the deadline is in July 31st. So if you're in the EU or the UK and you want to help preserve video games, then I would recommend you to go and show your support to this campaign. It's just a signature, right? There's also some weird stuff in it. Like some guy said that he got his signature from it removed because he was linked to a banking account or something. That was basically they caught him for saying naughty things online and they removed his signature, which is kind of weird. I don't know if that's true, but it wouldn't surprise me in the EU. I was gonna joke about the UK for a little bit as well. Maybe we should do that now because this would probably be a good time to actually, because there is a link to the UK one. Let me see. Because do you know UK people can't even open their windows now? This is true, chat. Yeah, they need 100,000 signatures in the UK. This is not even a lie. It's true. This guy on Twitter said it's 100 degrees in my room, but 68 outside. But I can't change that because England has dumb rules. They literally have the locks on their windows in the UK. You didn't get your window license? I'm not even joking. Now, this guy responded saying, it's not illegal to open windows in the UK, Lamol. Somehow people had to gaslight themselves into thinking that it is. But I object to this statement. Because it is true. According to the Manchester Evening News. Well, it's going to be true soon anyway. UK households told, do not open your windows during heatwave. Suffer, Britbombs. It can be tempting to crack open that window when the temperatures are high, but Brits are being warned not to do so. Like 2 more weeks and they will actually literally have the government mandated locks on their windows, okay? It's going to be true. Meme magic's going to happen. Households in the UK are being told not to open their windows during a heatwave this week. The Met Office is warning of heatwave conditions where temperatures are set to reach more than 30 degrees into the weekend. That's too hot for the UK people. There's only 35 for me today. But those precious UK people, they can't stand it. This sunny, warm weather will see millions of Brits face stuffy rooms and sleepless nights as our properties were never designed for this level of heat. Whilst it might be tempting to open your windows, an expert says this could make your house even hotter. Okay. I don't believe this. No UK person, do not open the window. It'll only make your house hotter. You don't understand. The UK government is literally gaslighting their people into making their homes into ovens, and it's very funny. So suffer, UK people, Britbombs. All right. Anyway, that's the slight UK segue. We'll go back to Pirate Software now. Sorry, I had to talk about. Yes, experts agree that opening a window actually increases the heat in your house.
Of lie. I have no evidence it's the first.
Terrible take, Ross. Your kind and gentle spirit has clouded your vision. It's clear, unless you're a total sucker, the Pirate Software was doing the first. 2 points here. Firstly, while my intro criticism is a joke, I do genuinely think if you're going to be dropping accusations of lying on someone, it's got to be that they're deliberately practicing deception. This second definition thing is a bit slippery and doesn't even...
Wait, what is this? Can somebody in the Discord message me this? What is this? Look up the British window tax. Come on now. But I have to do the stream tax, which is where Harada with a 50 South Korean dollars. Oh, no, sorry. This is Swedish krona, right? Got 2 teammates in Hardcore WoW killed and blamed others for it. I mean, what did you expect him to do? Die? There was nothing he could do. He was out of mana, despite having Robes of the Archmage and Mana Gem. But I don't want to alienate too much of the stream with the nerd shit. Did the same in another game. People found out on his farm thread even worse. The funny thing about him killing his teammates in Hardcore WoW is he killed another team literally like a week later in, I think, I forget what the game was called, but he was like blaming people for using lightning orb or something when it was his lightning orb. But apparently he has this entire, and we did look at this, he's gone through game to game to game. For some reason, Pirate Software has been pushed out of 109 online games, but he's not at fault. Nobody understands why. It's just every every boyfriend that he's had is abusive to him, and he just can't find a good game. I mean ferret, whatever it is. It's very strange. But he's been pushed out of all of these games. Yes, Ashes of Creation, that was it. Cybertaz with a 7-month subscription says, femme-looking game dev, Dr. Girlfriend voice emulator, got a butch up that buttercup. The only one who looks more like Nancy is Lewis McClang. I don't understand this. I don't know who Lewis McClang is. McClung. Someone explain. Is it political?
Apply
Explain.
because it clearly relates to the metaphorical characterization of things that don't
Let's
have
continue.
intent. Though some would disagree, pirate software is indeed a person and not just a thing you can interpret and mislead yourself with. Second point about this, he's totally doing the first. I understand Ross's hesitation and his...
Yes, pirate software is absolutely lying because he keeps trying to misrepresent the initiative argument, not only the argument, but the intent, and also even just the things that the guy is saying. He says that it needs to be changed to be single player games, that it's going to cause like indie devs are going to suffer because of this. That's not true. Like all you need to do, he's essentially like pirate software is essentially saying that indie game devs are going to be forced like slaves to work on their games forever until the heat death of the universe, because if you can't play their game at any and all times, then you're stealing money from the thing. That's not what they're asking for. All they're asking for it is to be in a either playable state, which does not mean, like he said that that would mean that WoW would have, like World of Warcraft, which is a multiplayer game, would have to be rebalanced so that you could like solo Molten Core or something, which is ridiculous. All people are asking for is the ability to make their own servers, which is something that games just used to have all the time. Do you guys remember this? You have local LAN, co-op, and things like that. Like this used to be the norm. And he's like, apparently developers just can't do this anymore. Like the technology to make a local server or to connect to your friend's PC is just dead and buried. It's like, it's ancient lost technology. But he's making up these crazy stories about it. And not only is that, he's also just being disingenuous about everything that he does, because he says things like, oh, I hate DRM in single player games. Now DRM is like it's like copyright protection stuff. Basically, if you don't play video games, I can understand that. Basically, it's like you have to put in a code or have a verification to make sure you're not just installing the game on your computer, giving it to your friend, so you get 2 games for the price of 1. But he loves playing these games, like single player games like Diablo 4, which is a very funny point that this guy makes in the video. What is it called? A Cursed Farms guy. Because he was like sucking the nuts off of Blizzard playing Diablo 4, saying he loved the game, when that's a game that literally requires an online connection to just play, which frankly is like infuriating for me. Even though like you can say like, well, everyone's got an internet connection now. It's not. It's the principle of it. Like if you get disconnected and you lose your progress because you're playing a single player game, that's fucking bullshit. People just want to buy things and have the things. But we're moving towards this world where you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. At least that's what they're trying to do. T-Rex Trucking and More with a 2 says, tax-free. Oh, we hit the goal, chat, which means we'll play the tax-free song at some point. I've got it loaded up. I found a copy of it. That was also lost media. It was tax-free, but I found a low quality copy of it. JB Behemoth with a 2 says, would Toe have been excused if he was a jihadist? I suppose. The sad thing is both, like, like the meme where it's like, you're not locked up in here. I'm not locked up in here with you. You're locked up in here with me. Now, Nick and Aaron are both locked up in Minnesota, and they both have to ask for permission to leave the county. I think the best ending, we can all agree, is that if Aaron and Nick become cellmates. That would be the funniest thing. If Nick goes to jail in August and Aaron goes to jail in October, and they have to fight over the bunk bed, and we can make a sitcom out of it, it'll be great. Robert Lawrence, he gifted 5, count them 5 memberships. Thank you very much. And Occam's Machete with a 5 says, Aaron Imholte lies a lot. He lied on top of Kayla. Okay, I didn't see that one coming. He lied under Kayla. He lied behind Kayla, lied under Kayla. Yes, very good. That's actually very funny. I haven't heard that one before. Thank you very much.
Stated reason being...
All right, we'll go back and see what Harm people saying.
Second point about this, he's totally doing the first. I understand Ross's hesitation and his stated reason being...
I have no evidence it's the first.
But actually, yes you do. See, if you want concrete, empirical evidence of someone lying, you'd have to be able to read their mind. You'd have to be able to show that they did absolutely mean to deceive, and that it wasn't a slip or a mistake, that they didn't forget something or misunderstand. YouTube doesn't yet have a built-in brain scan function, and yet we can still fairly call people liars. How is this possible? Well, it's this wonderful little thing called deduction. You look...
Now, don't tell Nick Rekieta about this ability, okay? Because when I say, if you deduce that Nick was implying that the cops brought cocaine into his house and touched his daughter's head, and that's how his daughter tested positive for cocaine, he will say, well, I didn't say that. But we just can use this deductive reasoning. Nobody's allowed to use this. Unless you're talking about Aaron and how he's definitely talking about Kayla. Then it works. But if it's Nick, no, you can't do that.
At a collection of facts and you draw a conclusion from them. And if that conclusion is reasonable, you can go ahead and state it to the world. Like this. I think pirate software is a liar. Now, why ever would I say that? Several reasons. Let's go through a few of them, starting with the one I think is the most fun. So, in a very tiny nutshell, Stop Killing Games is what it says on the tin. They don't want games to be snapped out of existence when publisher support ends. There are multiple reasons for this, but in the case of their current petitions to governments, they are pursuing a consumer rights angle. They want...
Actually, can we get a bit of a quick and easy post one in chat if you play games? I'm kind of curious. Actually, this will have to be a regular poll. I'm actually really curious in the audience, because obviously there is an older audience that's kind of into the LordTube stuff, I think. But I mean, old people play games too. I mean, I'm old. I play games. Do you play games? I'm actually very curious to see what percentage of the chat do this, because I think that at this point in life, basically everyone's had an experience with a game that has had some sort of online DRM, or is just an online game that you can no longer play. I mean, I like a lot of old games that have multiplayer features, like the original StarCraft, although that's still very popular. I play Heroes of the Storm sometimes, not so much these days because it's very hard to find a match for it, but that's one game that's actually probably going to be on the chopping block very soon, because you need to connect to Blizzard servers to be able to play that, and connect with friends to play. It looks like, overwhelming majority, like almost 90% of the people playing games. So that, you know what I'm talking about then. Good for you. But there's a lot of these games where you buy skins or buy assets, or if you just buy the box price. It's one thing if the game is free to play and you earn things in the game, but these sort of games are few and far between. But the entire gaming landscape is changing towards this sort of full box price, and then you also microtransactions, get as much money out of the person as possible. And if you pay for it, shouldn't you just own it? It's really pretty simple when you think about it. HOTS used to be so keynote. Yeah, the music in HOTS is really good, I think. Although people say that they don't like the game very much. I think it's good. I think it's fun. Last game I played was Pong. That's how old I am to get into gaming. Well, imagine it's like this. You bought Pong for $20 and you have a CD for it or whatever, or a cartridge. One day you plug it in and it says the Pong servers are offline. You can no longer play Pong. You'd be like, "What? This is bullshit. This should be a couch co-op game." This is one of the ridiculous things that is actually happening in the modern era, because you're supposed to own nothing. People buying the Switch 2. I actually don't know if this is the case for Switch 2, but people will go to buy games for Switch 2, and it'll be like a cardboard box with a code inside to download the game from a shop. It's like, what the fuck? I just want to plug the disc in and play it or whatever. It's literally eat the bugs territory for this sort of stuff. Sam with a 34 months says, I'm playing a game on my second monitor right now. I'm glad that the game's on the second monitor. Although second monitor bros, I'd appreciate you all the same.
5 service games to have some kind of end-of-life plan. When they shut down, they don't want it to just evaporate. They want there to be something. Specifics left to be negotiated. In other words, they want to mandate that going forward, games have some sort of contingency plan to prevent them from being wiped from functioning existence. I
just want to put some nuance here, which might be explained later in the video. But it doesn't have to be what Pirate Software is saying. We did mention this a bit earlier, of course, so I'm repeating myself a little bit, but it doesn't have to be much. It doesn't have to be live support for the game's entire history and until the death of the entire planet. It just has to be it could be the source code. It could be changing the code to allow for co-op. It could be changing the code to allow for LAN parties, things like that, your own servers. It's really not that hard to do. Now, there are some concerns when you do this. They don't want to give away their source code in every instance, because then if you want to remake the same game, or the second version of the game using the same engine, that can be a concern of losing your IP. And we were mentioning Heroes of the Storm before. Heroes of the Storm is actually made in the StarCraft 2 engine. So if StarCraft 2, even though it's in theory a single-player game, realistically it's a multiplayer game, but you can play it single player. There's a campaign and things. If they gave away the StarCraft 2 engine, source code, whatever, then somebody could use it to make a game that is exactly the same as Heroes of the Storm, and that would be a financial concern for Blizzard. So there are these concerns that developers do have, but this is not what has to be done in every case. There is a multitude of solutions to all of these problems, and it's going to be different on a case-by-case basis. But Pirate Software is going to tell people, and this is what he has been telling to men, because of his influence. And the guy, Accursed Farms, literally said that these sort of campaigns live and die on the influence of big streamers. And I think he implied that Pirate got people like Charlie to stop talking about this. Charlie, of course, Most Critical. Most Critical has actually made 2 videos on this now, and now he's going against Pirate Software. And basically everyone is telling Pirate Software to stop being a fucking knob, but I guess he has oppositional defiant disorder, because every time he is challenged with Like, just can you just admit that this is not what you're saying? And he's like, no, you're just wrong. It's actually like kind of shocking. And I think in the video that Charlie put out today, he actually says that he DM'd with Pirate, and Pirate actually mentions that, I think, in his tweet as well. He's got a pretty big book here. He said, like, I talked with Josh Strafe. What is it? Josh Strafe. What is the guy's name? What is the guy's name? I know he's in here. Somebody, Josh Strife Hayes, which is a fantastic name. I'm very jealous as a fellow Josh. Josh Strife Hayes and Moist Critical. He talked to them both, and they both tried to convince him to just try to see it from a different person's point of view. And he just said, no, you're just wrong. You're just wrong. And I think that's why people like get so frustrated with Pirate, is that he's just insufferable. And I think this is a thing that lolcows have in general, is that they cannot admit to ever being wrong in any situation. But we will go through Pirate's manifesto after this Harmful Opinions video. But Ben There Done That says games or games, both. And Dave with a 5 says, I have legit PC, DVD, ROM games that I have downloaded a crack to play, i.e. Age of Empires 3, due to secure ROM DRM, which is offline. Yeah, like, you should really back up everything you like. And I think there's services like, I think GOG used to do that, like Good Old Games, GOG.com. They would do a lot of restoration of games and make them DRM free, so that these sort of like legendary games that maybe you played from your childhood, or maybe your parents even played, like DOS games or something. There's a lot of fantastic games that I missed from my childhood. Like there was one called Pirates of Rumspace, which is so kino. The music of it is great. And I have no idea how I can play that anymore. And it may be one of those things that is lost to time, but maybe it's up there. You know, maybe it's on Good Old Games or something like that.
Or at risk of that. Now, here's the fun part. Did you
GOG
know
still
that
does
Pirate
that? Very
Software,
based.
before even looking at it, guessed correctly and was afraid that that's what it would be? On April 7th, months before he published his first video about it, he was asked about Stop Killing Games.
Check out Accursed Farms on YouTube or his website, Stop Killing Games.
So I'd be really interested in looking into this.
So this is Pirate Software.
The thing that I'm worried about at the outset is wanting to put any type of legal framework together to force studios.
Oh, and I absolutely stole the idea of using MS Paint as a chalkboard from Pirate Software. I'll admit that straight away. I saw that, I thought it was Kino, and I took it from him. And then he had his major crash out. And I was like, shit, I'm going to take it. I'm going to keep doing this. I like it. I think it's good. I like it.
To have a contingency plan for games that are live service games. This is the concern that I have.
Months before.
No, the concern that Pirate Software has is it might affect his bottom line, because he's got this game company of his own where he's going to be forced to, and I think he has already worked on some live service games. I think specifically with Ludwig, like they formed like a little gay game co-op together. Ludwig is a bit of a spineless rat himself, so I guess good company, I suppose, for them.
Before he made his first video, he stated fundamental opposition to any law mandating any kind of Plan B for live service games. He is fundamentally opposed to the petition in its essence and at its core. He then states that he will be looking into it.
So I want to go research it first, because everyone's been talking about this.
And elaborates on why he's against any kind of mandated contingency plan.
Because I don't want, and this is the real one, I don't want the government telling indies that they have to have their live service game stay online forever.
This is not what they're asking for, and he's trying to he's just protecting himself. The indies he's talking about is him. That's his vested interest. This is his bias, is that he doesn't want the government to force him to do these things with his IPs. He's specifically looking out for himself and his game dev buddies, that apparently hundreds of them messaged him to say like, wow, stunning and brave, but in secret, of course. No, you cannot see the messages. Not at all. This is not what they're asking with this initiative. All they're asking is that there is some way to maintain the things that you buy. And like I said, maybe it could be the source code. Maybe it could be changing server-based things to local-based things. Maybe it could be just removing the DRM. It could be as simple as that, just removing the requirement to log online to launch up your game and have offline mode available. That's as simple as it has to be.
I don't want that. Nobody wants that. But when you're talking about a legal setting to force people to do this, you're generally moving in that direction.
He's scared of the slippery slope. It'll go in the direction that people be forced to keep their games online forever. Specifically,
he knows about the slippery slope, but he means the one in Second Life.
He says he's scared for the indies.
You get a whole lot of these problems where there's like smaller games, and everybody's focusing on the big juggernauts. They're like, what happens when World of Warcraft goes away? I want to play World of Warcraft. But you're not thinking about how this could impact everybody in the space, just the big titans.
I think like most people are thinking about every game because indie games are a big market, and I think that in many cases, indie games are more popular than AAAs. Frankly, because there's more indies than there is AAAs these days. Like maybe like these big game companies like Bethesda or whatever, they release like one game a year at this point. But then there's like dozens of really good indie games like Shovel Knight, FTL, Darkest Dungeon. I'm just thinking of the games that I play. That come out all the time, and I would really encourage you to give your money to those companies instead. But I can understand if you want to play like the new Spider-Man game or whatever. But for me, I really prefer the experience that I get from these smaller titles. Dave the Diver, even though it's not really Dave the Diver is probably my favorite game of the last year, but it's not really an indie game. It's kind of like looks like an indie game, but it's made by a Korean company, surprisingly. But Dave the Diver was like fantastic. If you've not played that, if you're looking for a new game to play, Dave the Diver is the chillest game you'll ever play, and it's about diving, catching fish, and making sushi, and it's fantastic. And it has like a Solid Snake, Metal Gear Solid cutscenes and things like that. It's like crazy how much fun stuff they have in that game. And I wish that I could erase my brain and start playing Dave the Diver again, because now that I have 100% of the game, I am lost, and I have nothing that can replace Dave the Diver.
Everybody wants to stick it to
Claire Obscure. Yeah, apparently people told me that I should play this. Should I play this, chat? I mean, I think everyone's played it at this point, but I heard it's like a fantastic game. Expedition 33, isn't that the same thing as Claire Obscure?
Man, and they forget that, well, the man is not the only man on the board.
Agree or disagree, noble enough, worried about the costs this adds for the little guy, might stop people from making live service games when they otherwise would. So over the next months, he goes off, does what he said he'd do. He's going to look into every little bit of Stop Killing Games.
Read a whole bunch of stuff. We see every little piece that they're talking about.
And before making his first video about it, he certainly saw Ross's Europeans Can Save Gaming video, because he quotes it. In that video, Ross compares the loss of games to the loss of films.
And now most films of that era are gone forever. That's very similar to what's happening to video games today.
I mean, like I mentioned earlier, this has actually literally happened to 28 Days Later in the last couple of months. It's no longer available on media unless you can literally find like an old DVD. And yeah, the DVDs are out there. It's not like super rare. But it was not available online until Sony brought it back for the release of 28 Years Later. And it's not, you can't purchase it anywhere unless it's like a retro secondhand shop or something. So it's not even, this isn't even like a thing that like is happening to old movies. It's happening to very recent movies. I guess like 28 Days Later is like maybe just 20 years old or something, but it's like movies you saw as a young adult. Some of these movies are disappearing. Like, I don't know, like Dude, Where's My Car? Like movies like that sort of era are disappearing, and maybe will just become lost media. Now, some people might argue they should stay lost, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun movie. T-Rex Dragon Morb says the best 8-bit ever music was weirdly enough is the theme for the NES Pictionary. I don't think I ever played that. I'll have to look for a OST on the YouTube or something. Dave with a £5 says the problem Pirate Software is complaining about is already solved. You put game source code in escrow. That's a good idea. I don't think it would work necessarily for every situation. Like I said, if the game wants to use its source code to make a secondary game or an add-on pack or something like that. But I mean, with the company, just because a company goes under doesn't mean that the IP won't be used or resold and reused by somebody else. But yeah, in certain situations, I can see that this could work. Company goes under, code is released. It's not necessarily the company, though, that like it could be like an individual IP holder. But Dick Jones gifted 5 memberships. But to add on to that a little bit, though, like there's a lot of different solutions. Obviously, keeping the escrow source code would be a very interesting idea and one of the possible solutions.
It's just a terrible practice for everyone involved.
Multiple of the examples on that page he pulled up to show us what we've lost and what we lose are MMOs.
What? Is code intellectual property, though? Absolutely. Why wouldn't it be?
Or otherwise online multiplayer games. Further to that, he claims that the initiative would apply to free-to-play games that have microtransactions.
This would also apply to free-to-play games that contain microtransactions. Because if you purchased a microtransaction as a good, then the game is made unplayable, well then you just lost your goods.
Yeah, your big-tittied Queen of Spades. I'm not even joking. There was like a Queen of Spades skin mod or something for... what's that game that Grums is always talking about? Stellar Blade? Or something, and then like Nexus Mods took it away. Like you buy your BBC Queen of Spades skins for $10 because it's February or something. and you got to show your support. When the game goes under, you can't use that skin anymore. How is that fair, chat? How is that fair? How will Kayla get her dose of hedonism 2 skins? But there's like, what should they be doing in this thing? I wonder, like, I mean, you just make the game local, right? Like, that's all we can do. There's no way you can get your money back.
Intended scope of the initiative is clear and is reflected in the petition's text. Given that he must have seen this and more, I think it's pretty bizarre that his very first comment on the initiative, in his first static video on it, is this.
The reason why I have a problem with Stop Killing Games is specifically it starts the wrong conversation. If we're trying to kill off the practice of developers putting together a live service game, pitching it as a single player experience, and then taking away support in the future, this
needs a pop filter. It's kind of annoying. He's too close to the mic. I mean, I guess I do the same thing sometimes, but it's kind of annoying.
Ain't it?
Correct. It ain't, and it's not meant to be. But he later further asserts that that's its supposed purpose.
Doesn't call out the specific practice that this is supposedly trying to defeat.
It cannot be claimed with any credibility that he believes what he just said is true. He is being willfully deceptive. He was lying. Pirate Software is a liar. And why would he lie? Because he knows exactly what it is. He knows exactly why they're doing it and what they want. And we know months ago, he was scared that was the case. He wanted to smother it in the crib. He knew it had barely any chance. And it's not his fault if it fails, but it is his fault it has practically no chance. Now, if he destroyed...
Pirate is... This is one of the things that he's saying, as well as like, well, I just said that it's no good, don't support it. And now 10 months later, it's failing. How can you blame me? Like, dude, you literally killed the momentum. People, like, at the time when Pirate was saying this, he was still kind of had that aura of being like kind of a industry insider who kind of knew the details. He was building himself up as an authority. And that's kind of how I learned about him in the first place. Like, I saw a short where he was talking about how one microtransaction in, well, not one microtransaction, but one digital asset, the Sparkle Pony from World of Warcraft, which is a horse you could buy for $10. Basically, it was a horse that looked like a constellation. It was the first, I think, in-game purchase for World of Warcraft that used real money, and it was very controversial. And of course, now World of Warcraft's entire model is around buying horses. Now, Pirate made a claim that the one digital asset, the Sparkle Pony in World of Warcraft, made more money than the entirety of StarCraft 2, and that's why there's 20 years of Warcraft and there's no more StarCraft games. Now, I heard that. I was like, that's interesting. I was into StarCraft. So that's how I subscribed to him, and I saw him from those shorts, and I watched a lot of his other shorts, which were quite interesting. I won't lie and say that they weren't. But now that I'm actually thinking about it, like, he never verified this claim. He just said these things, and if he says it with such an air of confidence, you kind of just believe him. But a lot of people have come out now and said that, like, he's been making up a lot of bullshit. So I wonder if that's the case.
Something he didn't like, honestly. Fair play. Respect. But he didn't. He instead decided to employ a more effective tactic. And what tactic is that exactly? Well, IDub should look into this, because this is a genuine example of what concern trolling actually is. Instead of tackling what he disapproves of head-on, Pirate Software has constructed a fake problem. To be clear, he addresses issues he has with end-of-life plans for games, but he pretends that's an accidental side effect of them messing up the initiative, instead of it being exactly what they're trying to get. This framing is incredibly important and powerful. It allows him to present his arguments against the initiative as evidence and proof that they're doing things wrong, instead of as his opposition to their movement, which it actually is. You see, he's here to help. You want to do this thing, but the initiative won't get you that.
In the niche cases where a studio is trying to sell a game as if you are buying it or purchasing it or using that language specifically, and they give you a live service game instead, I agree that should change. That language should change. You are not purchasing the game. You are not buying the game. You are paying to have a license to...
You'll own nothing and you'll be happy, chat.
A live service experience. I get that. Is that what this is doing, though? The initiative is not trying to call that out specifically. It's trying to say that all games need to stay in a functional, playable state, which is not calling out the language that is being used to manipulate the player. Call that out specifically.
See, he's not.
This isn't actually true. There is a paragraph in the initiative that says functional state. But the thing is, the initiative isn't actually law. It's just getting this to the European Citizens Initiative table, basically, so that they can actually have a discussion about this. But Pirate is looking at this one live thing that says it's to leave video games in a functional playable state. And he's trying to make this sound like you have to have every single game functional to the end of time, which isn't the case. It's a very obtuse way of looking at this. I will go back in for a second. Like, there was one other thing in this video. Pirate was against this from the very beginning, and one of the things he said, this is the video he's reacting to here, is by the Accursed Farms. Is it Cursed Farms or Accused Farms? I think it's Accursed, right? And it says reasons that the initiative could pass, and it's like politicians like easy wins. Now this is kind of a joke, but it is true. Politicians do like easy wins. Pirate will attack things like this, saying like, "Well, it's like an easy win. You're not going to take this seriously, then fuck you." No, like the guy's adding a bit of levity. He's trying to make. He's like, "Look, guys, we can actually score a W here if we actually try. There is reason to get in on this." But he'll attack these sort of little things right from the very beginning. So he was absolutely against this from the beginning, even before he had researched any of it.
That is being used.
It's not obtuse, it's malicious. Perhaps. I mean, yeah, I probably would agree with you, actually.
Manipulate the player. Call that out specifically.
See, he's not actually against what they really want, and he's on their side. They're just going about it the wrong way. The great gaming authority is correcting some people who are misguided.
Yep,
That's what's
it's his
really
own
happening
personal
here. He just
interest.
thinks they should be more specific, except that specific thing is not what they're trying to do, and he knows that.
The thing is, like, the initiative doesn't have to be perfect law, because the politicians and the lawmakers are going to be the ones that decide. They're going to review things. It's like, well, it's not perfect, then we should just get rid of this. Come back when it's like, it's never going to be perfect. But you have to bring the question to the table so that people can talk about it and actually decide what should be done, because there are a lot of different alternatives that need to be looked at, like we talked earlier with perhaps the escrow DRM. That's an interesting one. Well, no, sorry, not DM. It was the source code. But again, it's just like these easy angles that he can attack from and use it to dissuade his audience and the audience at large from going and supporting it. And according to the guy that was the Accursed Farms, this is up to about 526. Sorry, dyslexia is kicking in. 529,000 signatures. It was going great, and then Pirate kicked in, and it just kind of stopped. Apparently, hold on a second. There was something else I saw something here. Where is it? Where did this go? There was like shit. Hold on a second. There's something funny here. Where did it go? There was like, you could see the percentage of different people that had voted for it, like the different countries. And there was a very funny one because I was like saying which countries are gamer countries or not. Where did that go? There was like, I could see all the different countries. Where's that gone? Oh shit. Oh well. Well, anyway, I when I was looking at the different countries, I knew that Finland would have a high percentage of gamers, and it's like 200% of the requirement was for Finland. I thought it was funny. Finland are absolutely gamer bros.
Perfect little narrative, nice little story for his audience to pick up and propagate. Disingenuously present a false story when you know the true one, because it will have the effect you want. Pirate Software fully understands this tactic and hates when it's done to him.
This strange idea that somehow that one player was a mysterious figure that no one knew who he was is kind of stupid bullshit. It's just propaganda at that point. Big mean Mr. Streamer named the player. No, dude, everyone knew who he was. He was the mayor instead of me for a month, and he acted like a jackass with the title. It's concern trolling is what it is. That's exactly what that is.
Yep, and it works, doesn't it? Works real well. Very effective to add that extra layer of obfuscation. You're not just clashing, the clash itself.
Rules for thee, but not for me. Very effective. If you can get away with it.
Warped, such that before you can fight back, you have to straighten out what's real. Imagine an alternate reality, where Pirate Software brings his true concerns, the ones he'd previously stated, instead of presenting his issues with the end-of-life stuff, as if that was an unintended side effect of what they were really trying to do. Instead of repeatedly stating it's vague, he said it's precise but broad, which is different, and that he's worried what will end up happening will impact indies, and it's easy to guess it wouldn't have been as impactful. Even the focus on the little guy would make less people care, and to a lesser degree. That's why instead, in his video months later, he went with this.
If you try to tell me that every studio needs to run their live service game indefinitely or not run one at all, then no one's going to run them. And we're going to miss out on adventures like Final Fantasy XIV.
Over those months.
There's kind of a funny thing here. First of all, Pirate Software is literally making a live service game. Second of all, he's basically saying here that like we're going to get less online games that have microtransactions and we're going to get more single player game experiences. And I can certainly understand the argument that online games are fun, but this actually sounds good. I'm sorry. I would rather see a lot more single player games. And again, this is kind of a taste thing, obviously. But there's been game companies don't make good single player games anymore because it's much more profitable to just make slop that you have to spend $5 to recharge your gems on. That's the way that society's headed. You can call it capitalism, you can call it the market deciding, but it's just slop. And frankly, I would probably prefer it if game companies were indeed incentivized to make single player experiences again. It's kind of an interesting problem, right? Because I'd rather let companies do whatever they want and everything, but then you see the dumb shit that gamers actually buy, and then you're like, maybe authoritarianism is the way to go. We've tried libertarianism; it didn't work. Everyone started playing Candy Crush. Maybe it's time we go back to authoritarianism and get like a good game like Doom or something. Who can say?
Run one at all, then no one's going to run them. And we're going to miss out on adventures like Final Fantasy XIV.
Over those months between his
The adventure in Final Fantasy XIV is dressing up as a cat girl and dancing for Gil, apparently. I've never played it, but okay.
stream in this video, did he change his mind about the everyone wants to stick it to the big guy, but please think about the little guy's argument? Or did he realize that would make his
self-interest? Panda Pop. Do I have to ban you from the chat? Hold on a second, kitty. No, I'm just joking. This is some girl shit, right? I'm not even going to bother looking at that. Whatever
too apparent and be less rhetorically effective.
Where's Wheelchair Johnny? He's dead. Now that Aaron is in jail forever, nobody can feed Johnny, and he starved to death. Very sad. F's in the chat for Johnny.
Effective. Probably more about they're coming for your Final Fantasy, hitting better than they're coming for your Realm of the Mad God Exalt. Something to think about, though. As someone who's a little bit of a polemicist, I love the art of just lasering in on something you don't like and hitting it as hard as you can. Watching these videos when they first came out made me feel such second-hand embarrassment. And I'm glad there's a reason to talk about him again, because there are a couple little bonus...
It's true. Pirate doesn't pass the vibe check. Like, at first he seems really smart and interesting, but then when you actually start watching his content or see how he reacts when people challenge him, it's just very cringe.
Nuggets I didn't touch on before that are pretty funny. Under his first video, he pinned a comment with an FAQ. One of the things he addressed was why he wouldn't talk to Ross. The reason he stated was, I think his position is disingenuous due to his comments about how this could be pushed through government. Here, he's referring to Ross.
Yeah, he literally will not talk to the guy that has devoted a good portion of his life to trying to save save video games in general, because he made the joke in his video that it's easy to get this pushed through because politicians like easy wins. I'm not gonna debate this guy. He's not gonna take this seriously. When it's a guy, Pirate literally dresses up in a wizard hat, and he's got a fursona. And he used to sell fursuits to people in Second Life, but he won't talk to this guy because not Harmful Opinions, but he won't talk to this guy because he made a joke about politicians liking easy wins.
His list of why he thinks the initiative could work, including that politicians like easy wins and so on and so forth. But what he was doing is the literal opposite of being disingenuous. Disingenuousness would be him pretending he didn't believe these elements were at play, to deceptively provide a picture of the situation he didn't believe was true. You're criticizing him for being excessively honest and open. You're attacking his character. Wrong. And then, after trying to attack Ross as a disingenuous person as a justification to not talk to, platform, or engage with him, Pirate Software had the audacity to write in the description of his follow-up video, "No, you will not silence me with personal attacks. Fight the argument I am presenting." Another thing...
Want to bet Pirate Software plays as Hrothgar, dirty furry gooner? This is a very bold statement for a person that has a bunny rabbit as a profile picture. I think just knowing what is this? How do you even say this? Hrothgar? I think even knowing this word puts you in serious crosshairs pudding way. Wait, I don't know about you either. Shinobu says, haha, busted. This looks like a Final Fantasy profile too. They're Among Us chat. Oh my goodness. This person's probably a bunny girl as well. Oh no.
He hates happening to him, but understands is effective. Now, to be fair, this second video is better. He provides some novel arguments, and quickly watching it over, I don't see anything that I could call a lie, but it absolutely outs him as a fifth columnist.
And the last take that I got from this is, and it's most reasonable to me. This is an initiative. It's not a law. Why are you upset? Just wait. I'm not going to wait. And the reason I'm not going to wait is because I see the start of this conversation not making sense. It's not including the actual developer side of the conversation. It's not showing the trials and problems that this could
suffer. Developers? Do we really want to have sympathy for developers? Oh, poor developers charging you $5 for a sparkle pony. Actually, it's not even $5. It's like $15. Why should I feel any sympathy for the developers that think it's a great idea to make you watch ads to recharge your energy bars in mobile gaming? Not that I played mobile games. If everyone said that I played mobile games, it's a lie. Okay, but it's just a hypothetical situation. Oh yeah, let's listen to the developers. Oh yeah. No, like this is one thing that I loved about Total Biscuit is he was autistically customer focused. If it wasn't good for the customer, Total Biscuit would tell you to get fucked. Even if he did spend 30 minutes reviewing sliders and FOVs and things like that, Total Biscuit was first and foremost for the consumer. And that's what any real voice in this sort of gaming community, or basically any community, should be. No, let's protect the companies. No.
Rise inside of the gaming industry for people who are actually making the games you play.
Yeah, because it's consumer advocacy activism. They're fighting for their interests, as they should, and they should as hard as they can. Hey man, I'm a carpet salesman. Before you go and haggle with these other carpet salesmen, you should really consider their feelings. Make sure your starting price is low enough to be real comfortable for them. I'm sure it won't go any lower. Correct response to that would be, fuck off, shill, as it should be, here.
Very based. I love Harmful Opinions so good. Why am I not subscribed to this channel? I am now subscribed to. I'm subscribed to my other channel because I only have YouTube Premium on one of my accounts, so I have to switch between them. So you should honestly go subscribe to Harmful Opinions right fucking now, because he's much smarter and his voice is much cooler than me. Is he streaming today? Sometimes he streams around when I finish. I want to stream rate him sometime, but I always miss out.
Pirate Software tries to paint Ross as not the guy to talk about this. But while my position is anyone can talk about anything, if there were a person who should not talk about this, it's the game dev being cheered on by the industry.
I received hundreds of comments from developers thanking me for putting it out.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Hello, fellow developers. Thank you for protecting our microtransaction sparkle ponies and not having to give the customers what they pay for. You'll own nothing, you'll be happy. Thank you, Maldavius Fig Tree. And if you're unaware, Maldavius Fig Tree is the first owner of Pirate Software. Unironically, he has a ferret, and he owns a ferret rescue, which is very suspect now. Very, very, very consuming. Harmful Opinions has Wednesdays and Thursdays off. Oh, okay.
Right? Anyway, let's wrap it up by looking at some new stuff. Pirate Software responded to Ross's recent video on Twitter. I believe he's now deleted it, but of course, the internet is forever. Supper Cursed Farms. I put out 2 videos disagreeing with your initiative 10 months ago and haven't talked about it since. Pretty much true, but that's because Ross is a softie and let you get away with that shit for far too long. For instance, this stuff absolutely warrants a clapback.
Oh shit, now this is actually really dumb. It's used car salesman garbage. This is shit. It's shit. Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to.
I wanted to go and check it out.
How could this be my fault, gamers? I told people to actively not back this. How could this? And you come back to me 10 months later and you say it's not my fault. Gamers, please respond. How dare you bully this poor innocent software developer who spends 10 hours a day playing Dune? Dune? Is the chat going to be mad for me? Which one? Dune or Dune? Which one is it? I say Dune. But I ironically know that he plays like Dune 10 hours a day now, instead of developing or finishing his own fucking game, Heartbound. And I can understand development delay. I mean, I was a little bit late myself today, right? But there's a certain point where it becomes a scam. Like with Ethan Van Sciver and fucking Rainbow the Brute or whatever. It's like, I did 1 page last month. Oh, fuck. What the fuck? That's a fucking scam. If I go to Twitch right now, is he playing Dune? Is he not online? Okay, he's not playing Dune right now. Okay, well, you win this round, pirate. When was he playing last? I guarantee I swear to God, he's been playing Dune all day, every day.
For myself, see the context of these statements, particularly the used car salesman one, because I was curious, but I couldn't find which VOD it is. The video he's reacting to went up July 31st, but there's a gaping hole in Pirate Software's livestream archives between the 29th of July and the 14th of August.
Now, I will, in the interest of playing devil's advocate, point out here that missing VODs is not necessarily hiding evidence. Now, in Caseytron's situation, it absolutely is. If you guys are unaware, in the H3H3 podcast versus Caseytron, Frogan, and Denims, the funniest thing has happened where Caseytron has said that she's like, no, I actually never watched the Ethan's content nuke. I was high, and he was mad about me, so he photoshopped, like, she's literally arguing that Ethan photoshopped Caseytron watching his review content thing so that he could sue her. And then she deleted all her VODs to hide the evidence, which is, you don't have to be a non-practicing lawyer to know that's very stupid. But in fairness, on Twitch VODs do auto-delete, I believe, after a certain amount of time. And if you do not upload them to your VOD channel, then they do disappear. And YouTube is a little bit weird with archiving. Like, for example, if your stream goes over 12 hours, it won't be archived on YouTube. Now, you can solve this problem by cutting up your streams on Twitch if they're over 12 hours, and he does spend 12 hours a day playing games rather than doing work. Not that I have much area to argue about like that being wrong or right, but you can cut them up and put them up if you really wanted to. Now, the argument is that he's hiding these specifically because he's butthurt, and he absolutely is someone that deletes and comments and reposts them and things like that. In fact, I believe this tweet here is actually the second or third version, as he's been trying to change the narrative, and he's finding that people aren't really taking his bait, which is unfortunate. I'm sorry, but I love some gacha games, LMAO. Which ones? Which ones? Is it, if it's Infinity Nikki? Is that the little girl one? Then you're out. You're out of here. Okay. Is unironically, can some people answer me this? Okay. So the reason I was late today. Somebody tell me, what is this? Let me see. Where is this? What, Infinity Nikki? That's the one that shit. What is his name? Solari plays, isn't it? Is that the one? Is that the one? Okay. So the reason I was late to stream today, which is I think is a very valid reason, it's heckin' valid, is that for the next 3 days there's this 100-foot tall anime girl, and I have no idea what this is from, but I saw this 100-foot tall big booty anime titty girl, and she's like the 3D screen and the tits fall out and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? I have to come back at nighttime and film this again so that I can make Blade Runner memes, you know, where it's like the giant purple woman. I'm going to be doing that. That's what I'm going to be my next project. So I literally was delayed due to anime, but I have no idea what Brown Dust 2 is. It's a terrible name. Is this a gacha game? I don't know. Like, it looks, the footage looks great. The footage looks really good. Hold on a second. Where is it? See, look at this. Like, at nighttime, it looks so good. The big, she's like looking at the booze can. I mean, like, chat, those tits are like 30 feet across at minimum. Okay. I cannot be blamed for being late to the stream. Brown Dust is very etchy. Okay, there you go. It's a knockoff of CS. What the fuck is CS2? Anyway.
Searching for salesman and car in the transcript of VODs after that point, but I'm not finding the clips. In any case, since Ross has receipts, there is certainly more than just those 2 videos. So the "I put out 2 videos disagreeing with your initiative" line is a bit misleading, isn't it, buddy? He continues, "Now your initiative has failed and you're blaming me for 33 minutes of the hour-long video covering it. There's a bit of blame, and a bit of blame is deserved, make no doubt.
Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to.
Just in those 2 videos, or do you mean some of your streamer buddies as well? We'll never know. Anyway, well, there's some blame.
I mean, it's almost certainly Ludwig, since he has a vested financial interest with that, because they want to put together a live service game, because live service games are a very easy way to keep milking your audience.
Ross was addressing statements he should have addressed directly earlier.
So like, it's a license to print fucking money.
He is out in force, shitting up our streams and socials with hate messages, threats, and snide comments. Well, you set that tone in the apparently now deleted VODs. Not the threats, of course, but just report that shit, whatever. Since you're so set on cutting up my responses into pieces to try to make me seem unhinged, I'm going to drop my videos here to show the actual context.
Sorry, so going back to the Brown Dust thing for a second, there's actually a tweet in Japanese where they talk about their 100-foot tall anime woman, and they said our company goal is to have the sexiest anime girl sign in Japan, and I guess it was effective. So there you go. But it's only out there till Sunday, so I had to go tonight.
I disagree that's what he was doing, but since we're all about transparency...
I'll go back because I kind of got distracted there.
But just report that shit, whatever. Since you're so set on cutting up my responses into pieces to try to make me seem unhinged, I'm going to drop my videos here to show the actual context. I disagree that's what he was doing, but since we're all about transparency here, can I have those VODs? Or are we going to pretend now they were just those 2 videos? There's also a massive pinned FAQ on the first video. We all knew that.
There's actually clips, and Pirate has his own threads on the farms, and they were like linking some. He's up to 500 pages. It's just a baby page so far. It's not like 10K or anything. But Pirate was absolutely seething on his stream today playing June. That's I saw some of them, but they weren't really that stream worthy. But they were pretty entertaining. He's molding.
this, but YouTubers don't write, do they? Massive. Come on. To quote back to you, if you're going to hate me, at least hate me for what I'm actually saying. I've seen the videos a couple times each now, and I don't think he perverted the meaning of anything. That's your party trick. The only engagement I've seen that is level-headed has been from Lewis Rossman. This might not be deliberate. He might just not remember. But what happened to Asman? In the FAQ, you recommend his take as well. For context on what I'm thinking, a little while ago, people got mad.
I think that Asman has come out against Pirate Software. I'm not sure. He's certainly cashing in on the second round of I was trying to think of a funny pun there, but I was just pirate bashing, I guess. Asman was absolutely supporting Pirate previously during the WoW, the Roach Out and Hardcore WoW, but it seems like he's actually coming after him now, which is it's nice to see. At least I assume so from the thumbnails. I haven't actually seen it.
At Pirate for collabing with Asman. Did he bitch out of saying his name because of that? I'm fine talking to people that are level-headed about this. Ross is the...
It just is not true. He's only okay with talking to people that agree with him or say he's great because his dad worked at Blizzard.
The chillest dude on YouTube. I can have a conversation, but to be real, dude, every time you've been involved, your orbiters turn shit toxic instantly, and it sets me off. Your community is fucking rabid, and it's shit to deal with for anyone on the other side of the argument. Oh, his community's so nasty, they make snide comments. How do you behave? How are you talking towards Ross and his stuff?
Eat my entire ass. The level of stupid that I just had to receive was like sitting on Twitter for 12 hours. This shit sucks. That's a really stupid ass move. That's an incredibly stupid ass move. I think this is ass. This is complete garbage. All of this can eat shit then. I dropped the mask entirely.
I mean, he has gone mask off in the last couple of years. I will agree with that.
I have no qualms about that. They can eat my entire ass. The whole thing. That sounds stupid as shit.
You would ban you from your chat. I don't want to hear anything about decorum from you. Why do you think I haven't talked about this shit in 10 months? Because you said everything you wanted to. May I have an example of what you would have said? Why do you think we auto-mute anyone bringing it up in chat? Because you were a bitch. He says because it's...
I forgot about that, but I think like Pirate was talking about how many people he banned in his chat, like after, like not even during the pirating, not even during the Saving Games initiative, but just during the World of Warcraft stuff, he was so insufferable. He said that like he had banned like I think it was like 10,000 people in his chat, and he was like, "Yeah, we banned 10,000 people. That'll teach them." And then he was talking about if you say bad things about him in his chat, he'll report your Blizzard account to his bros at Blizzard. That will get your account banned. Like literally, if you just open trade windows with him, because in World of Warcraft it's like an MMO, massively multiplayer online game, you can give people things. And there's a roach as a pet you could give to people. So like literally for receiving items, and you can decline the chat and you can block trade chats as well. So you can literally just disable it with one click. He would report you to Blizzard, and he had a copy and paste thing where he was like reporting people's accounts and trying to get their Battle.net accounts banned just because they were having a bit of a giggle. That's actually where like the Death Note meme sort of, I did like a Rekieta Death Note version. The inspiration of that is actually from Pirate Software, because he was just trying to take out everybody that disagree with you. And he was even reporting people to Twitch, and he's kind of like, he's in the good graces of Twitch. He won, I think, in the Streamer Awards, which is just kind of like the in-group like circle jerk. He won like the Developer Award or the Up-and-Comer Award or something like that, like Best Streamer of the War. He won some pretty big stuff. And he was absolutely reporting other accounts that were being critical of him and people that were reacting to his videos during just the World of Warcraft incident. I had actually kind of forgotten just how much of a roach he was during that time. And that's for a simple video game thing, not even like, not even something serious, like, protecting customers from just being predated on by greedy developers that want to milk you for everything you've got with their online subscription, microtransaction, garbage slop fest.
Rage bait and shit-flinging the entire time. Your own Reddit had people openly talking about causing drama in our community to try to stir up more support. Oh, so it happens anyway. I still disagree with your movement for all of the reasons I stated. That's unlikely to change, and at this point, I'm more than fine with that. Stay frosty. So I guess ultimately, Pirate Software is a poor, battered victim of this horrifying beast. Clearly the
I mean, it's a bit rude, but anyway.
Violent rhetoric Ross is known for has sent his audience into a blood frenzy, and being a giant loser is the only way you can keep yourself safe. You know what I think? You're not scared to talk to him because of his audience. No, people like that would have swarmed you no matter what when you took the side you did. No, I think you're scared of talking to him because in conversation, it will be impossible to dodge how much of a prick you look like in comparison. And you don't have the...
This is very true. It's very easy to sound smart. I mean, I don't know how to do it because I don't sound smart, but it's very easy for other people to sound smart. by just framing their own narratives, removing everyone that disagrees with them in chat, cultivating an audience that only agrees with them and sucks their D for everything that they say. And that's exactly what Pirate does. If you have any sort of dissidence in his community, you're yeeted out there immediately. Now, there was a thing that Harmful missed in here, which is very funny. I would have included this. If I search this, like, where is this Diablo thing reference he makes? It's very good. It's a bit of a zinger. It's a gamer zinger, but it's a good one. Hold on. Diablo. Let's see. So this is like the difference between Pirate and what he says in real life and what his actual actions.
I don't buy games that are...
Here we go. So let's see what Pirate has to say.
DRM check, okay, but then says people who buy single-player games with more than a DRM check are stupid, and he doesn't play those.
I don't buy games that are always online single-player games. I refuse to play those because it's stupid.
That's some tough talk coming from a fan of Diablo 4.
It's actually really freaking.
Oh, they got him! Like this is actually a burn. It's just like, unfortunately, I think people are going to judge Accursed Farms for his appearance. But there's a pretty good zinger here. He got here.
Good, dude. The game's fantastic. Itemization is great. Systems design is great. Storyline has been fantastic. The characters are good. The voice acting is great.
So is he?
Just on a side note, has anyone played Diablo 4 expansion? I haven't played it. I've played a Diablo 4. I was kind of disappointed with it, and I think I actually made a game review of it where I think I called it a 4 out of 10. And everyone was at my neck. They were like, whoa, you can't say this. And then like everyone started hating Diablo 4 and I was first. But like I heard there's like the expansion where like Mephisto comes back or something. I mean, they always come back. Is it actually any good? Because I literally don't care about the top-down clicking or shit. I just want to play the story. That's the only thing I care about. I just want to play the campaign. Is the campaign good? Out of curiosity.
He's saying he wouldn't have played Diablo 4's single-player campaign if it didn't have forced multiplayer also, even though he's praising it and appears to be playing solo?
This is like, to point out how stupid this mechanic is for Diablo, a lot of people enjoyed playing Diablo hardcore as well. Now, Diablo is a game where I think like to kind of, beat the entire game hardcore, it's going to take like 30 to 60 hours. And if you die one time, your character is lost permanently. So that's 60 potential hours down the tube, right? Now, that's fine on a single-player game. The reason that hardcore, and I mean, I'm kind of guilty of this myself because I have played hardcore WoW. Hardcore games online is stupid. Now, I play the dinosaur game, but that's like a couple hours investment. It's not like a big gamble there. If you're playing a game for 60 hours and then the Blizzard servers disconnect and you lose your hardcore character because of lag, there is no reason this should exist. This is an anti-fun, anti-consumer, anti-logic mechanic that only exists to line Blizzard's pockets. If you play Diablo 4 hardcore and you have to be connected to the internet, you are an idiot. And I say this being an idiot somewhat myself, okay? Couple of hours, sure. Look, every individual dinosaur is a couple of hours, okay? But no, like losing permanent progress in a single player game, like the dinosaur game's a multiplayer game, so it's not even the same argument, okay? So I'm actually in the right. But no, a single player, like imagine I played the single player dinosaur game, which doesn't exist. I mean, maybe it exists, but I don't know. And I lost my dinosaur's life because my computer disconnected or Blizzard servers went down or Elon Musk turned off the Wi-Fi or my neighbor turned off the Wi-Fi. That is retarded. And there is no reason that in the year of our Lord 2025, this should exist. It doesn't make sense. It's completely just for the company's benefit. That is why I hate these companies.
Or is he saying that people that just wanted to play Diablo 4 single player are stupid?
I mean, they are, but okay.
I admit I got lost on his stance there. But what's more clear to me is we're not on the same side. All
right. This is a good one, actually. So examples of games designed to be destroyed. Now, this means that these games are like, once the servers go down, you can no longer play them. Now, so this is this guy's Accursed Farms Stop Killing Games movement. This is a problem. This is Pirate Software's actual comments. He has no problem with these at all. Complete hypocrisy.
A list of some popular games that are all at risk of being destroyed at some time in the future. The Stop Killing Games movement sees any of these being destroyed as a problem and they're exactly the kinds of games that would start being protected if the initiative passed.
Well, first of all, Diablo Immortal probably should die. Diablo Immortal is, I think, the game that Elon Musk plays, and it's literally the most pay-to-win game, I think, in history. I think Asmongold did a playthrough where every time he was offered the choice to pay money in the game, he did. And I think they went to see how much he would actually spend, and I think it was something like $10,000. It is insane. There was also like, you get in these games something called whales, and whales are people that buy power through in-game microtransactions. And I'm completely against any game that allows you to buy power. To be honest, I don't care if you can buy cosmetics. Like, if you want to spend some money to be the sexy gamer girl or whatever, that's fine. A bit weird, but it's up to you. I won't say that I've never bought skins in the game. I absolutely have. But I don't care about cosmetic details, but I draw a hard line of buying power in a video game. That is something that is, every time I see it happening, it marks the death of every game that I thought is good. And I mean, a game that is dead now, I suppose, and could have been saved by this movement perhaps, is Tribes Ascend, which was possibly the most fun I have had in any video game ever. Tribes Ascend it had everything. You were going fast. It was free to play. It had the voices from Dragon Ball Z saying, "Push the sand rakers off our world." Like, it was amazing. You would ski around the map going 400 kilometers an hour. You got to go fast. The memes were great. It was amazing. When they started trying to monetize the game with microtransactions, specifically when the Raider came out, and like hit scan weapons was also another problem in that game. When that came out, the game kind of died overnight, and it went from being the most fun experience I think I've ever had in a video game ever, to being something that, like, every time I'm reminded of the name's Tribes Ascend, I get sad because I remember what we used to have, and it just doesn't exist anymore. I mean, this is more about microtransactions and power creep, but it's kind of tangential to this problem as well. Maybe I'm just sad about Tribes still.
Now, a lot of these do have single-player campaigns, but I believe they all require more than a simple DRM check. He says over and over
I've forgotten about Hearthstone, actually, as well. I was never really a big Hearthstone player, but I did play a few rounds. People have dropped their entire lives into Hearthstone, though. When that goes offline, when Blizzard servers shut down, what happens to all your golden Murloc cards, eh? That's what Save Our Games is going to do for you.
His problem with the initiative is the wording, and it's vague. But there is no wording he would like that also saves games like these, because he's on the opposite side of this. If he's totally fine with games like
these... Wait a second, why is Infinity Nikki on this list? That's a sussy alert. I don't know about that.
He's being disabled forever. Well, guess what?
Wait, Need for Speed? You're not going to be able to play your racing games? Unlike racing, I mean, obviously racing games can be competitive. Also, by the way, I beat Max Mura in Mario Kart. That's right. I got an old man to play Mario Kart against me, and I beat him twice. And I made him do. I bought him dinner, but then I made him play Mario Kart against me. And he cheated also when we were playing air hockey. But I beat him at the racing game, the Mario Kart, twice. But like Need for Speed, I unironically only really remember playing that. Well, that's not true. But I remember I played Need for Speed on the PS1, and it was like the time trials and unlocking the cars. Like, this was Need for Speed for me is a single player game. I mean, of course, we did have couch co-op and things like that, but my brother was a dirty screen looker, so I wouldn't play him against him very often.
That's the position of the industry causing this entire problem in the first place. And that's the fun.
Yes, I did film beating Max Mura in Mario Kart. It's part of my video that's going to be coming out.
No point. Thor says he disagrees with how we're going about trying.
I'm starting to think like the music, yeah, was really good in those games too. I think there's like there's actually a couple of those songs that I still have on my playlists, on like Winamp or some shit.
The end game destruction, but he also disagrees with the goal itself.
No. All right, well, this is a good video, but most of it, I believe, was covered up by Harmful Opinions video. We will have a look at what Pirate Software said. Let's add the right of reply. That's what he says. Been reading through all these posts against me over my stance on the Stop Killing Games initiative. Tons of people are calling me a liar. Well, he did lie. Or that I misrepresented the initiative. He did. Also, lots of content creators dogpiling on me to get this pound of flesh. Well, that is true. People are doing that, but you deserve it. So I don't really have much sympathy for you. Let's get into what I actually did and said. I put 2 videos on August. Well, that's not true. You did put 2 videos out in August, 6th and 7th, but again, as as a Harmful mentioned, you've hidden all the VODs. Maybe they just disappeared by their own volition. Who can say? But this isn't representing your actual entire opinion about this. These videos are linked at the bottom of this post. Many people have not watched them. Actually, I watched both of them. And they're just calling me a liar or attacking my character. Well, I mean, you are a liar, but I also attacked his character because he is a furry and a degenerate. Give the videos a watch. I did. Read the initiative itself. I did. Make a conclusion that you aren't copy-pasting from social media. Okay. Monetization of these videos is disabled. So no, this is not some ploy to increase revenue. It doesn't, literally, I hate it when people say this. It literally makes no difference in your argument. I turn the money off. That means that I'm a good boy. No, fuck you. Make money from it. It doesn't matter. I just care about this subject and have rightful concerns as a person working in this space. Oh, poor little developer. In the first video, I go through what the initiative is, how it is not law. Yes, because the lawmakers have to make it law. And how it is starting point for this entire process. This helps people understand that this is to start the conversation for change and can adapt later. That sounds like a good thing. Then I go through the initiative and some of its goals from the initial page from it. Then I talk about the repercussions of them. Should they be implemented? As written, all games need to be left in a functional, playable state. Now, it does say this, but this is not the intent, and this is not, as you said, it's not law, so it doesn't matter whether it says this or not. But this goes against the actual entire movement, which is not just a playable, functional state. There's many options for this, and that's something that the lawmakers have to decide. Next, I bring up the crew. Now, I think this is a hotly debated game that, is it by Bethesda? I think it was terminated recently, and a lot of people it's like the center of the controversy recently for this. And I walk through the business around it, the sequels, and the size of the player base at the time of the sunset. I know they use sunset in this community as well. I did this because it was called out by this initiative as an example of publishers destroying a game. I also harshly critique Ross Scott wording in his video because they disparage the lawmaking process and lawmakers, which doesn't benefit players in this movement in any way. Well, your argument isn't valid because you're silly. No, it's true. Lawmakers like easy wins. This is a marketing strategy. Hey, gamers, I know you don't want to press subscribe or click sign on this thing, but this is something we can actually win because lawmakers think it's easy. Lawmakers are like, well, shit, yeah, people are very popular about this. Let's do it. Yeah, it's a bit funny. It's a bit jokey, but this is actually a good argument, in my opinion, at least. Also, adding some levity to your videos is a great idea because it keeps retention numbers up. In the second video, I talk about potential scenarios where the studio could be abused if the initiative was implemented as written. Well, it wouldn't be. It adds new paths for abuse. Oh, poor developers. And needs to be discussed to help hone this initiative into something that would do good without doing harm. Well, then, shouldn't you be encouraging people to perhaps amend this or anything or finding a compromise? But no, you just tell people to shit on it and don't support it. I then explained that very few people in the game development space can actually discuss this from the other side due to fear of losing their jobs. Oh my goodness, he's a hero. He's so brave. Pirate Software standing up for the developers. A studio is much safer in silent dissent as they are discussing the drawbacks of your ideals. The recent attacks on our games is obvious evidence of this. To recap, my main issue with this initiative is that it's broad in its approach to change the industry and the exact languages of the initiative, not the fact. Requests that all games be in a functional playable state. This is not feasible for all games at a technical level and could potentially restrict developers from making online-only games like MMOs. No, this is not true. This is one of the things that is more done in depth of the Accursed Farms videos. But Pirate Software literally makes the argument that they would have to recode World of Warcraft so that people could do like Molten Core by themselves. No. You can play, just because you can play a game solo does not mean you can complete everything in the game solo, especially if it's a multiplayer game. And you can make local servers, you can hire server farms or whatever. I mean, people do this with Minecraft all the time. This is not a new concept. But he's trying to make the argument that they would have to redesign the entire game to add like a story to World of Warcraft or something before they end the company and make it so that you can complete all the content in the game as a single player on your own. No, that's not. That's a different game. That's making a different game. That's not preserving the game. That's changing it in a. I mean, it's just a straw man argument completely. Making online games like MOBAs, MMOs, and user-generated content games in the future. That list is not exhaustive, and it doesn't matter if you do or do not like these kinds of games. Effectively, this has turned the potential to restrict future developers from making kick-ass experiences. Oh my goodness, think about all the cat girls in Final Fantasy, these kick-ass experiences, because it locks a weight on their design. Even though this is an initiative that can change the future, this goal is core to the mission and deeply disruptive, and it needs to be called out. Oh my goodness, he's a hero. Save this man, he's a hero. To clear up some disinformation about my character. Here's what you need to know about Pirate Software. His dad worked at Blizzard. He got a job at Blizzard. He used to play Second Life online. He hired a miner to make sexualized skins in a video game and sell them for money. Allegedly, he went to go meet this person, but nothing sexual happened. But there's no way to prove this towards Pirate or against Pirate's favor. But it is very sus. He's been kicked out of every game that he's been playing because somehow people are out to get him. And he's a furry, so that's really all you need to say. But let's see. He left AAA in 2016 because I fucking hate how the industry is now and prefer indie entirely. That's why he's playing Diablo 4, I suppose. I don't like Blizzard. That's why he's playing Diablo 4, I suppose. Or I would have stayed working there. That's why I quit. That's the entire point. Fuck AAA and what many studios have turned games into. Oh my gosh. Well, he's enjoying his June Awakening right now. Outside of that, no, I am not financially supported by live service games. Well, not yet. You're making them right now. This is a new thing. The live service game that you're involved in is not yet released. You're trying to protect that future interest. I make a single-player RPGs, and I am a director of strategy for off-brand games. I'm in a position, and I am paid minimum wage. Oh my goodness, it's just like Jeff Bezos. You get paid $1 or a year or something. He's living in poverty hours. Okay, buddy. By my own decision, because I care about games succeeding and not profiting off them. That's stupid. I mean, even if this was not a lie, I do not believe this, but even if this was true, you should care about profiting off them. To further this, the games we're publishing are all playable offline anyway, because their gameplay loops are not only based on player interactions. Not all games are like this, and not all games can be like this. Well, then why are you making a live service game? No, I have not been running away, Stalker Child, from Door's discourse on this. I talked about it for 8 hours on stream yesterday. Is that stream still available? Or did you unlist that one as well? I think actually what he did is he unlisted one of his streams. I believe I read this, that he unlisted his stream and then started again with the same name so that he could hide what he was saying and then continue as if he had left everything up. I never took down my videos, Stalker Child. I mean, I doubt this because there is gaps in his content. And I have not discussed the initiative in 10 months. It has been since I released those videos. My internet also died mid-broadcast, so I had to go live again 30 minutes later. Thanks, ISP. Oh, my goodness. It's the ISP's fault. No, Stalker Child, I did not delist my video. It was the ISP's. For those that will scream, he's doubling down. Yes, I damn well am. Well, this is a good look. I'm sure it's working out for him. I give a shit about this initiative and what it means for games, developers, and players in the future. To finish out, just because I don't support this doesn't mean you should blindly follow me, and that just because I said pretty words on the internet. Now, where's the part where he says, okay, you also shouldn't blindly bash me because of some things that other creators said too. Watch the videos I put out, I did. Read the initiative, I did. Decide for yourself, I did. And he's a knob. Apply critical thinking and don't outsource it to others. Critical thinking is a meme. There was a tweet here where I think he said, did he delete this one or is it a different one? Did he change it? Where he says he talked to Charlie and something? He talked with Charlie and Josh Strife Hayes. I think he yeah, here it is. It's a follow-up part. Just talk to Charlie, the Moist Critical, and Josh Strife Hayes for a bit in DMs. If you're mad at me for being a dick at Ross, I get it, and I'm sorry for that. I should have not lashed out, because I had an emotional response due to how important this subject is to me. On the developer side, I've been in a constant battle with people online for nearly decades. Why? Why are you in a constant battle with people online for decades? I mean, where there's smoke, there's fire to a degree, right? Like I've been on the internet for my entire life, and I haven't been fighting people for decades. This is a strange thing. Oh shit! I lost it. Where is it? To inform them of how difficult it is to make and release video games. The idea that any of these technical hurdles are easy to overcome and would simply be simple to implement is exactly the kind of thing I've been fighting for. You know what? I don't like noisy developers. There are some very based developers and there are some very noisy developers, and noisy developers are the worst. Pirate Software is a noisy developer. A based developer is the guy that made Faster Than Light. Like, he's the kind of guy that drops a banger of a game, probably one of my favorite games of all time, and then like randomly they just drop free DLC. They're just like, here you go. I think Concerned Ape is another based developer. Like he put out Stardew Valley, and then he's just like, hey guys, do you want like another island for free? I'm not even going to charge you for it. I'm like, okay. I don't play Stardew Valley that much these days, but that's pretty based. So yes, those are some based developers. But people like Pirate Software do a lot of talking and not that much developing, I think. Let me see. How difficult it is to release and make video games. The idea that any of these technical hurdles are easy to overcome, would be simple to implement, is the exact kind of thing I've been fighting. Like, it literally is, though. Like, games are built around. This is like, we've moved on to like flying cars, and it's like, well, I don't know how to make the wheel anymore. Are you crazy? This was the basis of all games. Like, multiplayer used to be like an additional bonus feature. It's crazy how the world has changed. Sean Murray is a base dev. What does Sean Murray do? What games did he made? When I bring up these issues with leaving online-only games in a functional playable state after sunsetting, I'm always met with a response diminishing the effort needed to do that. This is not a simple hurdle to overcome. It is exactly why I don't like this initiative. Well, like, here's the thing, is you can actually implement the features to play local co-op or own your own servers. You could do that in the beginning of the games. Yes, you should do it at the end of their life cycle, but you can actually implement it from the very beginning, and then you won't have to worry about it at the end of the life cycle. It's No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky is a really good story. I love that story, because No Man's Sky's promised the world. Everyone got pissed off and they hated it, and then they basically shut up for like a year or something, and they made the game good, and they re-released it, and everybody loved it. And that's actually like a redemption arc. It's very, very, very cool. I have not played No Man's Sky myself, though. You can't leave these challenges to a figure-it-out mentality, and you can't diminish the work of those devs' side just because you want your way. Yes, I can. I can diminish the work of the devs. They're lazy, and they deserve nothing. Unless they make a good game, and in case they get what they deserve, which is money. And that's what happened to people that make good games, because people buy them. Movements like this showcase to me how little the general public understands about game development. Oh my goodness, we're not smart enough to understand, chat. Modern gaming architecture and online gaming as a whole. That's why I put videos out poking holes in this, because it sets the entire conversation back to the Stone Age in terms of developer-player understanding. Making shit is hard. I mean, not all the time. Sometimes, sure. Making shit when people think it's easy is harder. If you do something very well, it doesn't look easy. That is true. If you want these games to be left in a functional playable state, then you need to listen to the people when they talk about how infeasible that will be in a lot of situations. Well, then just give them the source code. And there's actually, I believe, an argument in the European Citizen Initiative for Online Saving of Games, or whatever it's called, that you could allow people to use the source code to restore the games with not losing the IP to it. That's actually an argument that they want to have. You can make it so that people can play the games, but without abandoning your IP, which would actually probably bring back a lot of franchises, because there's a lot of great franchises that people just can't access because the IP is being sat on by a bunch of greedy developers. Since the initiative's primary goal is listed on the ECI page, it's kind of important to resolve that. Now, I believe that Charlie, in his video today, said that he did talk to Pirate Software, and it was like talking to a fucking brick wall, which is what everybody who talks to Pirate Software has responded by saying. He's impossible to talk to because he believes that he's right all the time. I don't know about Josh Strife Haves, but I've seen a couple of his videos, and he's a very base individual, and he makes a lot of good videos. And I'm very jealous that he's got a very cool name that starts with Josh, and I don't. All right, there we go. Pirate Software, look inside, don't Pirate Software. That's the end of this. Now, I'll play you out on some tax-free, because we've had a fun little stream today. I didn't really want to do the sort of errand content today, but the people demanded it, so I hope you enjoyed what little there was. Maybe tomorrow we play dinosaurs. Maybe we have a Friday stream. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe I just go see the anime. Maybe I just fall in love with the giant anime woman again or something. Who can say? I think Legal Mindset streaming. I'll probably stream into him or somebody else. But I guess to steal... I hate that like Pirate Software has made Stay Frosty his kill sign. I mean, he's still... I remember it from Reboot, but I guess it's from like fucking Top Gun or something. Anyway, chat, stay frosty. We'll play you out, and have a great day, morning, wherever. And remember that even though the toe lost today, it's always a win for the toe. And peace.
Did you hear me? It is tax-free. My Zannies, my hookers, my super chats too. Hit that button, cause every single super chat I got it tax-free. Tax-free. Take out your pill bottles, shake your pills, because it's gonna be tax-free. Tax-free, tax-free. Tell your wiggers that we got it. Tax-free in my little tin shack. Cats flying in tornadoes. Gun flopping up and down, let's get the guns out. Gun, 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 gun. Shake it around when it's tax-free. Wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. It's a tip, so it's tax-free. But wiggle. You best not fold the bullshit, because these super chats, they all tax-free. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Yo, faith, don't make me say it. Squeeze. Child support, faith, it's tax-free. Compass sneak, cause it's tax-free. That's right, bitch. Now kiss my Gucci hat, I said kiss it. It's authentic, bitch. It's time to gun out. Shake your gun like you mean it. Welcome to the kill stream. This song. Wiggle, wiggle. What you mean I'm drunk? I'm sober, bitch. Get the fuck out of here. Maybe one more. So take out your pill bottles and shake your pills, and wiggle, 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 wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. It's a tip, so it's tax-free. But wiggle.